Why so angry? They just want to go against you. I know these people. They just want to go against you.
So nobody
We say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his one and only son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his one and only son. And we are the future. All we want to do is Jesus is
Built upon that story.
Like the rat.
هذه ولا شيء.
That's funny like this. You cannot pray without bowing down. That's hilarious.
Let me finish. 6,265. No, and this was not this. We believe in Jesus. He's the Messiah. Send him. I now take one. He's not. Open it. Who said the Lamb of God? John, you read any John.
So it does. You're aware of this. You're aware of this.
He said to you, the Messiah was sent.
Why Jesus is Messiah in your
Jesus sent to the children of Israel. Sent not to the listen to me. Sent to the children of Israel. Get out. I said, you know what I mean? Listen to me. What I'm trying to get down. Don't come back again. Come back.
What do the words are telling you personally? Because one word can tell you something you can understand. A word can tell you something you can understand. Sorry, my English is not. What I'm trying to understand is like Messiah means the Redeemer. What is the Redeemer? So when you have it here as the Redeemer of the one who believes in him, can you say that?
So that let you know. So to let you know that Jesus was sent. Okay, he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He wasn't sent to you.
So you wouldn't be able to
Who is that?
Your name is John, my name is John. I'm talking about John. You hear me? I just said it already. No, you didn't show anything. I just showed it. Say Lord, high tea. When they say the gospel of John, according to John, that was Sharia. You get the answer. Give the answer. No. I can read it 100 times. You still won't get it. Yeah, I know. Exactly. I'll read it again. And it twisted. That's what the Bible says. They may have ears. They may have ears, but they cannot hear. I'll read it again. Okay? It says John's witness, the true light. John's witness. She's talking John. Okay? John is speaking.
Yeah, because someone is talking about John. No, you're talking about John.
Can I read? Is your mind too little to understand? Okay. It says, therefore a man is John. Okay? This man came and witnessed, bear witness of the light. Okay? That all that is the light and not just be
Allah said, "Even
And I will show you guys something, right? And he said he doesn't believe. Please, my brother, listen closely, okay? Listen closely. In John chapter 8, verse 23, and this is talking about Jesus speaking, okay? And he said to them,
chapter 56, verse 80, chapter 40, verse 1.
wow, look, notice how he jumps the scriptures like it.
Wait, hold on.
The oath of the Quran is Allah.
Don't say that Allah wrote the Quran. Wait a second. Those, authors and writers are two different things. Wait, Allah didn't write the Quran. Who wrote the Quran?
Allah didn't write the Quran.
Okay,
Allah did not write the Quran.
Perfect.
Allah did not write the Quran.
So therefore, John is the author of John.
Show me that way.
Show me where it says that Allah is writing the Quran. Yeah. Simple as that. Okay, wait.
He won't even let me read. Can I read, please? Let me read. Can I read?
That's fine.
Can I read, please? Okay? Let me read. And he said to them, you are from beneath. I am from above. You are of this world.
Satan is from above. Satan is from above.
Why won't you let me read?
What's your point? Is Satan God? He's trying to tell
Can I read?
you Jesus came from heaven, therefore he's God.
Can I read? He won't let me read.
Satan's from heaven.
Notice how he won't let me read.
That's logic, man. Angels are from heaven.
This is how the devil deceives you.
Angels, God,
When he says, surely you
Jesus
won't die.
never came from above.
Let me
You know what he
read.
said? I am
Can I read?
to my Father. He never said,
Can I
I will
read?
send it again to my Father.
Can I read?
John chapter 20, verse 17.
Can I read? Can I read? Hey, stop cutting me off. Can I read? Stop cutting me off, Siraaj, please. Let me read. Let me read. Let me read. Let me read. Can I read? Can I read? Can I read? You're me a coward. Can I read? Can I read? Can I please read? Thank you. John chapter 8, verse 23. Okay? And Jesus said to them, you are from beneath. I am from above. You are from this world. I am not of this world. Therefore, I said unto you, you will die in your sins. For if you do not believe I am He, you will die in your sins. Unless you believe I am He, you will die in your sins. Unless you believe I am God. What does I am He mean? 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 What does I am He mean?
Paul said that.
What does I am
Abraham said I am.
He mean?
Genesis chapter 2.
What does I am He mean? What does I am He mean?
What it mean?
What does I am He mean?
What it mean?
What does I am He mean? What does I am He mean?
What it mean?
What does I am He mean? What does I am He mean? What does I mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean?
What does it mean?
What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? Simple answer. What does IMP mean?
Chapter 21.
What does IMP mean? 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 What does IMP mean?
Chapter 15.
What does IMP mean?
Wait, hold on.
Wait, let's go.
Hold on now. Wait a second.
Yeah, what he said?
He said, you listen. Listen, my friend. You don't have to go to borrow language. I love you too. Listen. You don't have to go to borrow language.
What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean?
All of you guys in your city, by the way. Yes, I would like
What does IMP mean?
just that.
What does IMP mean?
Okay?
What does IMP mean?
I want you to learn more.
What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean?
Saying like 5 words. It's better if you know more words. Here's what we're going to do. If you want,
What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean? What does IMP mean?
Hey, remember what you said last week? No, but you said it to me, didn't you? What did you say? That you had some questions for Christians, didn't you?
I can see them.
You had questions for Christians.
Let me like that.
Oh, you're not Christian.
I know what you're saying.
No, remember you.
You're not Christian.
No, you asked. You said to me. No, but you said you had the question for me, didn't you?
You're not Christian.
No, but no, you did say.
And I'm seeing that.
Yeah, but you spoke directly to me, didn't you? And you said
You're not Christian.
it doesn't matter. You actually spoke to me directly, didn't you? Remember? You said you had the questions about Jesus.
I'm seeing that.
Oh, you've forgotten already.
Have constant. They make decisions.
I had debate. I came last week. That's it.
No, last week.
I came and said I'm tired. I had too many debates. I can't debate with you.
Yeah, but you said next week you were going to ask me.
I wanted to ask you, look, Michael, I've debated with you about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, but you got no. You've got the questions about Jesus.
So maybe answer questions.
Yeah, well then give you the questions. Then.
But we use matter though. We use matter.
There you go, which is evidence. You use matter, which is evidence. You look at actions, which is evidence, to point towards something that's unseen. You have to
Right, okay, no, I agree like that. I agree.
Oh, you agree
I
now.
agree now.
You agree now.
But that's my point though.
So that is why I can use the Bible. He can
No.
use the Quran. That will
Because
point
have you
towards
seen-
something that's unseen.
Okay. Have you seen this matter called Jesus? Have you seen him? Have you seen him? I gave you the squirrel, I gave you Sarah. Yeah?
No.
Have you?
Use the consciousness. I haven't seen Jesus just like you haven't seen my consciousness.
No, but I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you.
You haven't seen my consciousness.
Okay, but I'm seeing you. I got you though. I got you here.
You can't see my consciousness.
I can see your conscious man. I can see
You
it.
believe I can see evidence that he has consciousness. You cannot see my
But you don't.
No, but
Why debate with Salim?
no, what do you?
You have a story. You have a book about a man. That's what you have.
No. Just like you can see me in my material, I have my Bible as material. He has his Quran as material. So that is what we see. That's
Okay,
material
let me flip it this
that
way.
points towards
I got
God.
a I got a thought. I got a very good thought. Watch this, yeah.
You overly skeptic guy.
No. I have to be.
You're overly skeptic to the point where you can't move.
There's a dead body there. You can see that his body is not conscious, yeah?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the matter. I can see
that
the
it's
conscious.
you can't see the conscious.
I can't see the conscious. No.
Yeah, that's our way. You can't see the conscious.
Right. Okay.
See the absence.
Anything. All you have is you're saying that you have this book that claims that this individual existed and this individual is
Points towards evidence.
like the book gave you that, right? Okay, I'm gonna let you know right now, you don't have anything outside of the book to make that judgment. You have nothing outside of this book to make that judgment.
You have nothing outside of myself to know that I have a consciousness.
I got you here though. I got you here.
Nothing
No, I got
outside
you here.
of myself.
I got you here.
In other words, you haven't got me.
I got you. I got you.
You never know. You wouldn't say that flipping consciousness. It's the same thing, bro.
Take it.
I was not here.
Yeah.
You're looking at me, and just like I said, the Bible for us is the matter that you see. You see me, and you see me, and you believe I have consciousness. I see the Bible, I believe there's a God. If there's no Bible, I cannot know. I cannot fathom there to be. If I have no Bible, I cannot fathom there to be a God. If there's no me, you cannot fathom for me to have consciousness.
I can because I've got you here.
But if you can't see me, if I'm gone, if I disappear.
No, now hypotheticals. I can
Same with
see
the
you.
Bible then. I have the Bible.
Okay, so basically, okay, this is what you're saying. Okay, can I be wrong about your existence? Can I be wrong about your existence right now? Could I be wrong about your existence right now? I could be. Okay, do you apply that same rhetoric to about Jesus?
Yeah, with the Bible, yeah, I could do that.
Okay, we're good then. We're good.
We're not good because
You can get burger. We're good.
no, we're not good. And we talked about this before. You have zero evidence. You have zero evidence of what you believe compared to what I have.
I have zero evidence.
If you apply the same skepticism to what your worldview,
I do.
You do
I
not.
do because
As if you did, you would not say that every human has come from the womb of a woman. You would know that to be false.
you would know that. That's true from what we
That's
know.
not true. Because I'll tell you why, and I'll say no. Hold on, listen, Frank. I'll tell you why. Because the first person that came out of the womb of a woman, where did that woman come from?
We don't know.
So that means you cannot say that every single person has come out of the womb of a woman. It means that there are some people. There was at least
two that came from.
Well, I don't know. You
We
tell
don't
me.
know exactly.
Well, you tell me.
I'll tell you what we do know. I'll tell you that it's been very consistent that everyone here has come from a womb.
Yeah, but
everyone here.
Yeah, but from your consistency, it shows that there must have been
There's a room for inconsistency. I
There
agree.
must have been two to begin with.
Why there must?
Because in otherwise your homework doesn't flipping work.
No, because
how can you have people that come from the womb of a woman without two people?
That leads to two. That leads to two doors.
Or what are the two doors?
One door. We've always been here. Another door. No, hold on.
Look it up. Infinite regression is illogical.
According to who?
That's illogical. It doesn't make sense.
No,
You can't have
if
something
it's
that
logical
goes.
to me. I'm giving you two possibilities.
God have mercy.
Either two came from out of nowhere, or we always existed. That's what you're proposing to me.
Either one.
Because you're saying you don't know.
So then what do you know then?
I don't know too.
So then how can you say that every single person has come from the womb of a woman? You can't say that.
From what
That
I
is not
know
a
so
fact.
far.
No, but no.
From what I know so far.
Where's the evidence to that claim? For what you know.
Okay, give me an alternative then.
No,
if I'm wrong, give me an alternative.
It doesn't matter. The point is, even for the point. No, listen. The point is, even for what you claim to know, it is not truly 100% fact because it cannot answer everything in your reality. The fact that you don't know where you was even came from, my brother. What are you talking about?
I'm giving you this. Yeah. Let's say I'm in the same bubble as you. Cool. The first two people, where did they come from?
No. The point,
First person, where did they come from?
Frank, that is a question really for you internally.
What does it mean?
Because you cannot live in a world where you say that everyone comes from the womb of a woman.
But I'm seeing it happen today, though.
However, pardon?
I'm seeing it happen today. I'm seeing it happen consistently.
But if you look at that and you trace it back, bro, where did the first person?
That's the whole point.
You can't say it.
Possible, but it's not.
It's not a fact.
So can we? Okay, is it okay? Cool. I'll go with you. I'll concede that. Cool. So is it safe for me to say that I don't know that everyone came from the womb of a woman?
You cannot say 100% that everyone has come from the womb of a woman. That's what you can stand on. You can only say.
Give me the alternative then.
The only alternative you have is if you can prove beyond the doubt that everyone has come from the womb of a woman, including the first first creation, the first
I can't go back that. No one can go back that far.
Well, that means you are not actually standing on 100% fact. What you hold to be true is not 100%
Okay, so would you say...
Because it does not account for all the reality.
Okay, can I say I'm 99% then? Can I say 99? Can I say I'm 99% sure then?
You can say you're 99% sure.
Because I can't because no one here can access your Adam and Eve, right? We can't access them. They're far removed, right?
Well, I mean,
no, you can't, man.
We've got evidences. We've got evidences that separates your 99 from my 100%.
Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna show you how Abrahamic religion puts you can't even think beyond it. I'm showing
you cannot think beyond anything.
I'm just giving you humans. How long have humans existed?
Oh my
millions of years,
days.
right? No, millions of years.
That's irrelevant.
Okay, how long have we existed? Millions of years, right? You're saying that 2,000 years ago, a man was able to author a book about your inception, about something millions and millions and millions of years ago. That makes sense to you?
My evidence is that is God.
What evidence is that?
Brother, you have zero evidence for anything that you stand for.
I'm fine with that.
No. If you're fine with that, you cannot fight me.
No,
because I have more evidence. I have my own book. You have no evidence. You have nothing.
That book is my man. That's it.
I still have a book. I still have something. You don't even have anything.
No, hold on.
You gotta give me something. Give me something.
I'm gonna show you got 0% just like me. I'm gonna show you the 0%. I'm removing your 70%. I'm removing that. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay, watch this. If Jesus never rose from the dead again, does Christianity fall to the ground? Hold on, wait. Does Christianity fall to the ground?
You cannot go to No.
I can't go to you're saying your book is facts.
What you're trying to do,
you're saying your book is facts.
is you're trying to enter my camp and pretend.
Right.
You can't do that. Right? Because what you need to do is because if you enter my camp, you enter his camp, you enter anyone's camp, you gotta accept for what they're saying to be true.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
What it is you don't? If you don't, stay on my flipping camp.
No, but you're not doing that though. You're not doing that though.
Yes, I am.
Because your religion is going across the world and saying your one is fact. You're proselytizing.
Yeah, we are preaching.
No, hold on.
Yeah, we're preaching.
Wait, hold on. Let me know. You know I'm listening to you.
Okay, so
let me know. You're proselytizing around the world and saying my book, my thing here is fact. And if you don't believe in this Jesus guy as your savior, you are going to hell.
We are doing that based on the evidence of what we have. Yes.
Right. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Fine.
No, that's not whatever.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'm not here to disrespect you. I promise I'm not. No one's here. I'm not here to do this. You're saying that your thing's 100% fact. That's why by default, I'm in your camp. By default. Just like a Muslim.
In other words, I'm saying it's the reality for everyone.
Yeah, so by default I'm here with you.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to challenge it because I don't want to go to this burning eternity. I don't want to go, but just like the Muslim.
Yeah, but in that case,
by default I'm already in this camp. Because
hold on.
I'm here to disrupt it. That's it.
I'm saying, so if I'm saying that this is the reality of everybody and you say you disagree, why are you fighting me?
Because you're proselytizing onto me.
I'm not.
No, but you accepted you're in his reality.
Are you accepting? That's what I'm saying. If you enter my camp, you have to accept my reality. No, if you don't, then stay at my camp, man. Don't talk to me.
But you don't start off like that though. That's what I'm trying to say. Your religion doesn't start off by, don't come into my camp. Your religion doesn't start off like that.
My religion starts with this.
Starts off by, you are in my camp.
And then you can decide to leave if you want to.
Exactly.
So are you leaving?
Okay, I might leave. But so far we're discussing it. Is that fair?
Okay.
Is that fair? Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about. Let's go. I'll just have to highlight that one. I'll go you on that one.
Go on.
Okay, cool. Right, look. You have a Christ. And you rely on the fact, no religion has it, you rely on the fact that this individual died and rose again. That proved everything for the book to be true, yes?
Yeah, I know, yes.
If that fact never happened, if that phenomenon never happened, the whole book is a lie, isn't it?
Yes.
Essentially the whole book is a lie.
What you're saying is that Christianity hinges on the resurrection of Christ.
Okay. I'd say how to be some of it.
No, it's all.
Allow it.
The other person would be right.
The thing is that they've been playing to this person.
Yes, it hinges. Christianity hinges on that.
The reason why it's playing to this individual because it's done a phenomenon that no human being. Right? He said it. Right. So cool. So I'm gonna give you that.
All of it.
So you gave me the 0%. I'm gonna give you that same 0%. Now, the fact that this is the crux of your religion, right? Do you have any proof that happened, or do you just have a belief system?
no, I've got the proof. The proof is the Bible. The proof is the apostles. The proof is the people. The proof is the people who died. Who died for
These
that
things
thing that
happen
was right.
outside of the book, yes? They happen outside of the book. It happened in reality, yes?
What do you accept as evidence? We have to understand what you accept as evidence. Because if we're suggesting stuff and you don't accept it, then we're giving evidence. You don't accept it.
You need to give me a video, bro.
A video?
Give me a video.
Brother, I can't give you a video of my flipping consciousness, bro.
Give me.
I cannot give you a video of my consciousness.
You weren't there, you weren't there. You weren't even there. You weren't there. I'm talking about the actual phenomenon of raising from the dead.
Bro,
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Jesus raising from the dead.
No, but we need to talk about.
What evidence? What evidence?
You want to stay on that?
No.
I'm asking for video. Okay, I'm
I'll
asking
give
for
you the
video.
evidence. I'll give you the evidence, and then you slap it aside.
Okay, where's the evidence? Outside of the book, where's the evidence? Outside of the book, give me the evidence.
Outside of the book.
Yeah, outside. Okay, we'll put the books here. These things happen in reality.
You can't do that because the book is in reality. No, but the book is just like I'm in reality. Just like I'm in reality.
Yeah.
And you see me, and you can see that, and you come to the belief, you come to the understanding that I have a consciousness. If I wasn't in reality, you would think that Tommy has a consciousness, would you? You would think that T has a consciousness, would you?
It's God outside of reality. It's God outside of our
My
reality.
God came into reality.
He did, but it's God right now here. Right now, he's alive, yeah? Your God is alive right now.
My God is alive.
Okay, he's outside of reality, isn't it?
But the Holy Spirit is dwelling within me.
Okay, that's also a claim. That's a claim.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm asking about God. I'm asking about God. No, I'm asking about God.
This is my reality.
Okay, cool.
I'm telling it to you.
Holy Spirit is also a claim. You're making a claim.
That's my reality, bro.
Okay, fine. God is God outside of reality.
Yes.
He's
also in reality too.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is my reality.
Okay, but
this is my
me and you already agree that you could be wrong about that, right? You could be wrong.
Yeah,
so you could be wrong. So you saying that
I've got multiple evidence compared to your zero. If you have zero evidence, I've got infinity.
How can you be sure about your reality when you're saying that you could be wrong about your own reality? That doesn't even make sense.
You have zero evidence. So you should be
about what?
Anything.
I think what he wants is physical evidence. So pure
I got zero evidence.
He wants
I got zero evidence on a creator. Remember, again, I do believe it's a creator. I have zero evidence for it. I have zero evidence.
Where's the evidence for that?
I'll show you the evidence. I'm my ancestor.
Brother,
you only believe.
We give thanks to our That's fine. The reason why he says that because we were there before. So they
Are you gonna follow? Are you gonna follow the religion of the ancestors? Something like that. A paraphrase. Yeah. Are you gonna follow just because you're
No, I'm not.
It's not even that. Look at the homie tribe. I'll go back to those people. I'll go back to the homie tribe. 1 in 10 slaves that was in the transatlantic slave trade. The homie tribe was
That's not me.
What do you mean? That's my ancestors.
The homie tribe. That's not.
They were sacrificing their brothers
As
for
far as
thunder.
I know, I belong to the Akan tribe. Okay, we give thanks to our ancestors. Akan tribe.
And so the Akan tribe were only righteous people that didn't know God.
No, they weren't.
Oh, they weren't. So you're from a people that
We
didn't know.
made our reality because of we are bound by reality. We didn't guess about something that's outside of our reality.
So you're telling me they didn't believe in any God?
Listen, let me tell you the crux about what we like. Wait. We believe. That's what I'm saying. We believe in a
Where's
creator.
the evidence for that creator?
No evidence.
So in that case, brother,
It's
you
a
are on
belief
ground that is shaky.
We're in the same
You have zero
Of
evidence.
course.
You have
But like you. This is like you.
You have zero evidence for this creator. I have.
No, you don't, sir. No, you don't, because you already said you could be wrong. I see you got zero.
No, wait.
Could be wrong.
Could be wrong, but he has evidence to suggest that he's right.
No, he has. Okay, hold on. Let me make it simple. Is the uncertainty? Is the uncertainty?
No.
Is the uncertainty about his doctrine?
No.
He's not certain, is it? He's not certain.
Brother, when you go to court now, I'm
You're frustrated.
80%. Frank, you're frustrated.
I'm not.
Frank, you're
That's
frustrated.
not my concern. Are
Frank,
you certain or you not?
Frank,
Are you probable or you not likely?
Frank, in court they say beyond reasonable doubt, not beyond reasonable certainty.
That's mad.
It is beyond
That's
reasonable
mad.
doubt, bro.
That's
In other words, you can have doubt.
overwhelming.
There is doubt about everything and anything. However, there is such a thing called reasonable doubt, right? I do not have. I am beyond the point of reasonable doubt of my faith. But you, sir, you have no evidence. Therefore, reasonable doubt, irrational doubt, you have nothing. Yes,
I've still got things.
In what? The point is, yours is now true blind faith because there's no evidence. Yet you believe it to be true. What is that?
got way more over your. I got way more over your. I'm a product of my.
Where are your 66 books?
We get no.
Where are your 140 scholars? Where are your apostles?
What you have?
Where has
Books is dead. Once they read it, it's dead. Books is dead.
We're all Nigerian.
He has it and more.
No, we got more than him. I think I got more than this.
What we have, he has and more.
Okay, but he's not certain. You agreed with me. You agreed. He's not certain.
Remember, unreasonable doubt, bro.
Right. So the thing is, do you see what I say? I see him as a 0% like me.
No, you can't. I'll push you over. What are you talking about? What are you talking about 0% like me?
Yeah, I see.
Where's your book?
Because you're not.
Where are your book?
Okay. Who told you need a book? Who told you?
When he says book, I didn't even say scripture, as in i.e. recitation. Where's the how we believe the Quran?
Who told you need a book? Why do you need a book?
When we're
about
saying
life?
that book, the recitation, how do you know that what you're saying is actually what he's preaching and from the scriptures according to whoever?
No, but I'm not putting it on you.
No, for you.
For me, I'm telling you.
Where is it coded?
I'm telling you.
And another thing as well, if it's truly, if you keep saying for me, right? If you keep on that whole premise, or it's for me, it's not for you. Then in that case, brother, don't speak. If that truth is just subjective to yourself, it can't be truth. It can't be reality.
I'm not.
So go away.
I'm not putting it on you. You're putting it on me. Your books, Abrahamic books. You're putting it on me.
Brother, if you're scared of those books, read them. If you're scared of them, read them.
I've got them before I read it. I've got the physical copies. I read the books.
Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
Wait, so if them books
scared, it's only a
show overwhelming evidence
of the reality,
all these
of
things,
the reality that you're in. If they show evidence of the reality that you're in, then there's an issue.
Let's go back to square one.
You believe in miracles?
I don't know. What is a miracle?
Something that can happen outside of human
Natural law.
Yeah,
Fine.
natural laws.
But the thing, I haven't seen it myself.
I didn't say if you believe it's possible for miracles to be.
I'm not denying. Let's just say that I'm not denying. I'm not gonna say no. I'm just not denying.
Could there be a miracle that someone? It could be.
Could be. Okay, but let's go back to square one. This one, right?
With you, there's no square one because
We're not on square one, we're on books.
Oh, books. Sorry, you just remind me where I want to go. Who told you need a book? No. Who actually told you need a book? Why?
How about the CD?
Huh?
Because you need guidance.
Came on the CD.
Wait, why not CD? Why not CD?
Why do you need a message?
Yeah, but why?
Before we
Why
even
do you need a book?
Before we even go to books, when you went to school, what did they flipping give you? What did they teach you to do?
I'm not talking about God.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. How is the information This guy. What do you have? When you went to school, what did they teach you? What did you do?
ABCs. I need books, yeah?
To what?
For about a reality that I'm bound within. Now, who told you need a book about a reality that's outside of what you're bound by? Who told you need a book for that?
Because of the person who came into reality.
A person? Was that God?
Yes. That's what I would say, yeah. And that's the evidence. That's the evidence that I got. It's in a book.
That God told you need a book 2,000 years ago.
He didn't tell me that he expressed it to a book. He put the message in the book. He gave us revelation.
The same thing you asked me. You said, where's your book? Where's your book for my African spirituality? I told you it's oral. It's spoken. We don't have books. I've been telling you. You give thanks to your ancestors. You worship nature. You worship those that you're bound by. You give thanks for every day. You worship those the things that you're bound by, like nature. You're bound by nature. That's all you know. Of course, I worship nature.
So in other words,
nature, I'm existing.
For it, but you worship it.
Worship, give thanks, praise, all of that.
So why don't you always come talking to us? In fact, why do you worship me? I'm in nature.
Of course, I give love to you. I'm
bow down. I want you to bow down.
Oh no, yeah.
Bow down. Do it. Or forget even that. Why me? When we come to Hyde Park, before you speak to us, why don't you pray to the chief for guidance before you talk to us?
That's not how it works.
What do you mean?
That's not how it works.
Okay.
When I say
am I missing something?
You're missing a lot. When I say give thanks to nature, you give thanks to your very existence. You give thanks to tomorrow. You give thanks to yesterday. You give thanks to what your mother went through. You give because that's what you're bound by. That's what you know. The reason why you're here.
Why do I do that?
I'm telling you.
If I decide,
I'm not giving it to you. You don't have to do it.
No, okay. If I'm in your belief, and I decide, you know what, to hell with nature, I don't care about it. I'm going to cut down the trees.
It's up to you.
But is that okay? Is that okay?
It's up to you.
No. According to African naturalism, is that okay?
My part. There's thousands.
But that's what I'm saying. This thing is so subjective. This thing is so opinionated.
No, say that again for the comments. Say that again for the comments.
No, listen.
This thing is what?
it's so subjective for you, so opinionated
For me?
For you.
Yeah, I know it's for me. I'm not giving it to you.
And because it's that, it is not explaining the reality that you live in. If you're to say, if you know, listen.
So I'm not my ancestors.
If you're to say,
I didn't come from my mother, my
if
father.
you're to say that you need to worship your ancestors and you need to give thanks to your ancestors,
Yes.
and I don't need to do that, then what you're saying is not truly true.
No, it's not true for you. It's true for me.
So that means, in other words, it's just an opinion.
It's just like you. Yeah, you got opinion too. Exactly.
So it's not true.
No, it's not.
So it's not true.
No.
I'm scared now.
He's
It's not true.
He's saying it doesn't mean that. No, I'm
It's,
saying
no,
it means
it's not
the
true.
world to me.
No, it's not true. No,
It's true to me.
No, but I don't care about you.
subjective.
I don't care about you. Because I don't care about you. I care about you. But if you die, that truth dies with you.
Thank you. I love that.
So in other words, that's not true.
It's true to me.
In other words, we go back to. In other words, Frank, we go back. In other words, we
Just
go.
like you.
No, in other words, Frank, we go back.
Yeah, let them do their own thing. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna spin this whole conversation around.
Frank,
Watch it. Is your God limitless? Is it limitless?
Yes.
Can it be accessed by any means? It can never be limited, yes? Your limitless God can never be limited, yes? It cannot be limited. So that means that your God can't be limited to just one book. It can be accessed by any means.
Says who?
If something, I'm showing you logic. If something's limited,
No. But you are a limited
Says
being.
who?
You are a limited being. So how can you understand the limitless? Therefore, that's why my
I love that.
That is that is why my God showed His love for me.
Can you understand
and
the
came down in a limited way to express that love to me.
I've got this part.
And that is why I understand it. That is how He communicates to me.
No. You asked me a very good question. You said, can you understand the limitless? I said no. I'm going to present that question back to you.
Brother,
No, hold on. Can you understand the limitless? No, you can't. Right. So you have access. You have access to this limitless being by a limited doctrine, which is Christianity. It's limited, isn't it?
Because I am a limited brother. You are a limited being.
Yes.
So can you even not fathom the whole universe?
No.
Do you understand how a star works?
No.
Do you understand how comets work? Do you know how black holes work?
Right. So we're in the same bubble.
Brother, we're not in the same bubble. We keep going back to this because you have 0% and I have 100%. Listen, when you die, right? When you die, just like your truth. Right? Now I want to ask you a question. You're saying that when you die, your truth will die. Will gravity turn off when you die?
I don't know. I've never died before. I told you this. I've never died before. If I die, I don't know what's going to happen.
Now, look,
You're being overly skeptical now.
Do you affirm people have died today?
Yeah, I was somewhere around here. I believe
Gravity turn off.
I don't know. Sorry. No,
Frank,
I apologize.
Now, somebody died doesn't mean gravity will turn off. You understand just like now?
Yeah, okay, I agree. So I understand what you're saying. For them, like what I'm saying to you, I haven't died before.
No, but wait. If they,
Frank, when you walk,
and gravity doesn't turn off, what makes you any more special, any different to them?
Okay, so you asked me what I believe what happened after that.
No, he's just
Answer that question.
in other words, I'm talking about something that is called truth.
Okay,
In other words, it's truth for you and for me and for everybody. So when you die,
when I die,
gravity turned off for me.
the question you're asking, I have to apply the act of death. I have to apply it. I have to apply the act
I'm
of death.
asking you a question.
I've never died before.
So you don't know.
I don't know.
So
I don't know what's going to happen after death.
Okay, when you leave Hyde Park, I pray this doesn't happen. When you step, are you sure you won't fall into the ground?
No, you pushed him.
I have the probability that I won't fall to the ground. I have the probability.
What do you believe will happen when you step foot and you leave Hyde Park? Or do you think the ground is going to swallow you up?
I don't believe that will happen. I don't
Why?
believe that will happen. Because that's never happened to me before.
Oh really? You have evidence of walking all your life
Yes.
to believe that when you step,
Yes.
you will not fall into the ground.
Yes.
Therefore, you're actually walking in faith.
Of course, yeah. And believe, yeah. Like we all
There you
do.
go. You have
We all
faith.
do.
So in other words, you have nothing that you can say is 100% true.
Like you.
No.
Wait, hold on. But you said you okay, so that means Christianity is a certainty.
Pardon?
That means Christianity is a
It is
certainty.
a certainty for me. I believe it's to
No,
be true.
let's be
based
honest.
on
You said you had 70. No, you don't need faith.
Yes, I do. No, yes, I do.
Someone answer this
Because
question.
I just showed you how you
Wait.
need faith to flip and
No,
walk.
hold on.
I just showed you
Hold
how
on.
you need faith to
In
walk.
certainty removes the absence of faith. You don't need faith no more.
No.
You don't need faith
No.
Why should you think
Science.
in certainty?
We just talked about this. Science as a creed is a faith.
Yeah, because I agree with that.
Everything that you do is a faith. There is no such thing as certainty, my brother.
Am I existing right now?
Pardon?
Am I existing right now?
I think so. I believe so, based on what I see. Based on what I see of people around me.
If you touch me, is that proof of my existence?
Pardon?
If you touch me, is that proof?
evidence towards your existence?
So are
It
you
is
certain?
evidence.
Are you certain that I'm existing right now?
Yes, I have faith that you are, yeah.
So you're uncertain. Whoa, you're editing your words now. You're
I
editing your
cannot say 100%. Because at the same time, I cannot see your consciousness. I can't hold your consciousness. I can't taste it. I can't measure it. However, I believe it to be there based on the evidence of what I see.
Okay, so is Jesus a certainty?
Yes, it's a certainty for me, based on the evidence of what I've seen.
See how crazy that sounds?
No, it isn't.
Hold on.
It's actually the same thing.
See how crazy that sounds?
No, it's the same
Hold
thing.
on. No, it's not. You're certain of Jesus' existence, yeah? But me standing
Based
before
on faith. Based on faith.
How can you be certain in faith? Doesn't it make sense?
Because of the evidence. Just like I assist you. Just like I assist you.
Uncle, let me ask you a question.
Go and sleep. Don't waste your time. Go and
I
sleep.
cannot see
They believe in
I'm
Jesus.
loving this
I
conversation.
cannot see
gay bastard.
consciousness. We talked about the squirrel. For some reason, you believe the squirrel has less consciousness than me. Yet you have never held the squirrel's consciousness. You've not measured it. You don't know how much it has. But for some reason, you think it has less consciousness than me.
Yeah.
Based on what? Based on what we do.
Awareness,
We saw a car coming, and the squirrel decides to run into the car and die. Right?
Yeah.
For me, I see the car and I step back. So you have measured. You have looked at the evidence
I
of
can
what
see.
we've done,
Yeah.
and you said, okay, I've seen these two beings, and I think that this one has more consciousness than that one, based on what they've done. So that is evidence pointing towards something that's unseen.
I'm not talking about that.
That is faith. There's no such thing as certainty.
But you said you're certain that Jesus.
There is no such thing as 100%. However, let me finish. However, with that, for someone to land in the place of certainty takes faith. So they have evidence that points towards something that they have faith in.
Right, so have we got there yet though? Have we got there yet? Have we got to the certainty that Jesus rose from the dead? Or Jesus was here?
Do you not hear what I'm saying? I have faith. I have faith.
So that means we ain't got there. You're not certain yet.
I am certain. Just like...
Hold on. That means if you're certain, that removes the aspect of faith. You don't need faith no more. You're certain.
I just...
You are sure?
Left. I don't know what it is.
I already talked about this. Just like how you know that when you take your next step, you believe you will not fall through the ground. You don't know that you are going to.
I don't know.
You haven't taken
I
that
didn't
step
give you
yet,
no certainty.
but you believe that you won't.
Yes.
To the point that you could say that you're certain that you won't.
No. I'm not saying that.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
saying that?
because
So in
I'm
other words,
always,
you can't be certain in everything.
I'm always leaving the probable fact. No, I'm certain about my existence. I'm certain about that.
No, you're not. How can you be?
I'm conscious matter. I come here every Sunday. I'm showing you conscious matter.
I have no idea if there's a mini guy on your head right now.
Okay, cool.
I have no idea if you're not Andrew.
Let me
Give 5 minutes.
جامع هو سني اي هو سني سموه جامع الزهراء طلعوا مظاهرات لا عمراء عراق عاشوري الثاني والصومالي
for us until Josh comes. This age. What is this age mean? This age is not this age.
So in other words, you cannot be certain that everything must cause a woman. You cannot make that certain.
about medicine.
It doesn't matter about maternity. The point is, you have faith in something
I don't have faith. No. I don't need the word belief, faith, and miracle. I don't need it.
Everyone's got it. Everyone.
No, I don't need faith. No, I don't have it. No, I don't need it. I don't need it.
evolution is another alternative. Because that shows that souls cannot come from a woman.
I know.
So that shows that there are
I'm proud to come here.
Let me
It's
tell
not
you.
faith.
Wait.
No, I came here.
The faith is because you come here in this place when someone danger can happen.
I planned it before I ate. I know the time I'm coming. I know the time I'll leave.
Yeah,
So
but
I planned it. I know I'm
are you
coming here.
guaranteed to be alive here today? Are you guaranteed to be alive here today?
I know I'm living here today. I know
you're not guaranteed.
I know, no. I know I'm living here today.
But you're not guaranteed to be.
Why? Why?
Is it impossible for you to die here? God forbid. Is it impossible for you to die here? It's not impossible.
No, it's not possible.
So you can die here. Not possible.
No.
Why not?
I know.
Anyone can die in the past.
No.
You're looking at present time.
No.
You're playing games.
No. You know you're playing game. I know I'm not going to die here.
How do you know this? How do you know?
Is that what you're telling me?
I know I'm not going to die.
So when are you going to die? When are you going to die? You know when you're going to die, yeah?
But you believe it to be true. You believe that every single
I won't die.
You won't die?
No.
What, immortal?
The evidence that you have.
I won't die.
You have grey hair.
Look, I don't know. I don't know. The life and the living will say that this is dead. I myself.
But you believe,
So now
based on the evidence that you see, that they too.
When you see this body in the casket,
I would say the person. I would say the person's dead. The one dead doesn't know that he's dead. He doesn't know that he's dead. I would say that this is dead because I'm a living. So the one dead doesn't know that he's dead. He doesn't know.
but the dead one, but you're saying that
And that's where
I would say he's dead. I can say that he's dead because if we thought the person can come, you can't speak to him.
so all that someone that's unconscious.
to the beginning.
Are they dead?
No.
Okay, but if you touch them, they're not going to respond.
So what you say?
That's his still believing. I'm still believing.
I'm sorry.
What about the machine, okay? Someone is on the machine where the machine is keeping them alive.
But he's alive.
Such a
No, but the machine.
that you can't move.
You say he's not dead. You say he's alive.
No, the
I would
machine.
say.
If you turn the machine off,
I say he's alive.
How do you know that you're alive? How do you not have a consciousness? You're saying that you know things, but if you're
Salam, brother. How are you?
you cannot know everything.
Yeah, salam alaikum.
No, he's not. He's a crafty man. This uncle is
You see
crafty.
how racism is. You see how
racism, yeah? Okay, what country am I from, bro? Watch this. What country am I from?
you see how
What's this? Green, white, green. I'm Nigerian. What country are you from?
What about me? India, bro.
India. And he said what? He's racist, yeah? But he shook the Nigerian man's hand. It's because I said he's not sincere, that's why.
No, what about me? You see, because of religion, you see, are you Nigerian? Yoruba.
Then that means you're
No, when I was younger, yeah, no.
You're just the guy shifting sides every time I jump in.
You see, because I'm not a, you see, because I'm not a Muslim.
Yeah, but that's not racism.
Yes, racism.
He said to you that.
It's racism.
No, he answered you. He said to you, if you say Assalamu alaikum salam, you're only going to say salam.
No one can ever convince you of why.
I'm not a Muslim. Even though you say salam in your heart,
You don't know how consciousness.
You see,
yeah, so we can't bless you. You don't know the heart.
even the word salam is not in my language.
Wait, it's in reality.
Sorry, English your language.
It's in reality.
English your language. No, exactly. But we're talking it. What's the problem? What language? What language? What is the problem with speaking another language? I'm speaking the language.
Salam.
I'm speaking the language of
Show me, man.
Show me.
It's not Arabic. Even salam is not Arabic.
Show me the consciousness of everybody here.
It's a Kenyan word.
You said you are saying this, yeah? You are saying so. Where's the evidence?
Show me.
It's a God. It's a Kenyan God of peace.
Canaan God.
Of peace.
Who are the Canaanites? Who are the Canaanites?
Those in Canaan, like the Hittites, like the Hittites, all these things are Canaan.
From what I understand, yeah, the Canaanites, yeah, also maybe the predecessors of Palestine. Yeah? Palestine. Bethlehem, Jesus.
To what skepticism?
Oh, come on, man. No, that's the Bible. Don't say this to me because this is not what we believe. We don't accept that. We don't accept that. No, we don't accept that.
But what Jesus?
We don't accept
No,
that.
but what Jesus?
Yeah, there's only one God. But
No, I mean Jesus.
that man was speaking about God. Doesn't make it true.
No. In other words,
It's in the Bible. And me also can say it.
as a Christian,
I don't believe
John
this.
was
reality.
I don't believe this.
No, you have to accept it.
Why do I have to accept it?
Yeah, was gay. You were doing boom boom with God.
That's what you say. Yes. Where's evidence?
Where's
the evidence? Like what?
Most of the rabbis
We're
were
talking
saying
slander now.
you
know slander now.
I'm telling you the fact.
No, you're not. Where's the evidence?
Where's
the evidence?
There's evidence in the Bible.
Show me. Show me the reference.
In the Bible.
Show me the reference.
Read the book of John.
No, it's not fact. So where's the
I'm
reference?
telling you the book of John.
Show me.
Read it.
I don't know where to go to show me your. You have the knowledge.
It's a book.
It's not my book. Stop saying
No,
it.
it's a book. I'm saying it's a book. Not a book from
Show me the reference. Show me the evidence.
John chapter 20 and verse 25.
Okay, yes.
I've told you.
that there's a question mark.
I've told you. John 20 and 25. Read it.
Believe that you can.
What did Jesus say?
This guy, yeah.
No, read it.
what he did, what Jesus did.
Okay.
If it was recorded, you see what happened.
And they had a child. That first person who came, doesn't matter. That first person who came.
Yeah, but when you're saying Yahya, it's not John to us.
It's John.
No, it's not.
It's not John.
But when you're talking now,
Yes, that's what I'm talking
this
about.
man here comes and says,
He was doing, oh sorry, he was doing boom with Jesus.
You're using the homework. This man say that everybody said
if this man comes and says uncle's a bad man, like this man,
Jesus told you, how can you be a prophet?
why can't he be a prophet?
You're not a prophet.
Why can't he be?
Can he be a prophet?
at least.
Moses.
Hey, uncle, you know what you're saying, yeah? Can a gay be a prophet? Of course not. But, wait, let me ask you. Can the claim you're making be false? Can that claim that you made, that the prophet is gay, false? Can that be false?
No.
The Bible. Can the Bible be false? Can that Bible that was written by a corrupted man, can that be false?
It's not corruption, man.
It's corruption,
No, it's not corruption.
So what is
It's history. It's history.
So in Islam, in the Quran, yeah, what does it say now? Does it say any of this like this? Does it correlate with anything of this in the Bible? Like these mad statements that they're making on the prophet?
It's history.
It doesn't acknowledge.
It's history. The Bible is history.
The Quran does not acknowledge.
Everything in the Bible, everything that you see is evidence of what you have in the Bible. So you look at
That's in the Bible. No. Yeah, that's the Bible.
Because just like you look at the squirrel and you do not say to the squirrel,
No, you actually said that.
It's a good thing, you know?
It's interesting. It's like today, the Muslims are really thin on the ground.
Surprised, we're going to be quite busy today.
And there's even some Muslim guys that, for some reason, I'd see a certain Muslim one week, I speak to them, and the next week they're not here, and I don't see them at all for like there's 3 Muslims I've spoken to now, the last month or so, and all 3 of them I don't see them turn up. I don't know. It's like they've deemed that Speaker's Corner isn't so hot for them to come and actually get people to because all the Muslims care about is as long as they get you to join Islam. They're not here to seek truth. They're not here to make you a better person. Because the thing about it is, as a Muslim, you can be like Siraaj. You know the way he's all insulting and that. So you become a Muslim and you can carry on doing the insults, isn't it?
It's true.
Yeah. So,
It's about that, it's about learning about the faith you're going into, you know what I mean?
yeah. And you see, you say that. That's the other problem with Islam, I find, is that they're after recruits who they don't bother to teach about the faith. So they don't.
What am I being recruited into? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. And look how many people when I see some of their videos, they keep saying like they had 5 shahadas today or something. But all 5 of them, you bet they ain't told them nothing about the belief. So they want them to become Muslims, and then they'll teach them something. And what they seem to mostly teach them is just how to talk against Christians, because you have like 10 Muslims, or even better. Like I spoke to because you know Abdullah, because he's from Luton. Yeah. Like him. All right, so he used to be Catholic.
Was it?
Yeah. So now he's a Muslim, and he's like learning things about it. But what happened is I spoke to 3 Muslims, and all 3 of them used to be Catholics. And all 3 of them, when they became, they had their different reasons for becoming Muslims. But for all 3 of them, from what I was speaking to them, none of them was given no one gave them a deep understanding of Islam before they came in. They made the decision based on what they liked about Islam externally. So essentially, it could have been a belief which is full of devils, but because they look so nice on the outside, these guys would have gone in and joined it because it looks so, everyone's so friendly in that. But they don't bother to. That's the thing. I don't know if any.
It's a bit like the JW church.
Huh?
You know the JW, Jehovah's Witness churches.
Yeah.
They're so inviting, so.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
Behind the doctrine, you know what I mean. It's a different story.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that because I remember I had this Jehovah's Witness guy who I was talking with for a little while, and the funny thing about it is that the reason why they stopped talking to me is simply because I was wanting to discuss the Bible. So if I'd have just gone like you said and just gone with the friendliness and gone to their meetings and you're all happy and singing and whatever, I'd have probably been talking to them even now. I'd be going around their house, having dinner, everything like that. But because I wanted to bring the Bible out, I had Bible discussions.
Before the idea though.
Huh?
That was the idea, you know what I mean, of a Bible debate, you know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but that makes you an enemy for a Jehovah's Witness. Well, that's what because now I remember one time I saw one of the guys I talked to on the street, and I can't even talk to him on the street now. Yeah, because of what the division we had over what's in the Bible, isn't it? So he wouldn't even be friendly to me outside of that.
Strange,
yeah, but I mean I can understand why, because I think he's probably used to he's probably convinced a few people to become Jehovah's Witnesses. So I think when he comes across someone who's a bit difficult, I think he makes him a bit unhappy, I suppose.
You go to the British Museum, they do the tours, Bible tours.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I suppose they're showing you the history stuff. But do they show you, is it all the stuff they dug up? Is that what they show?
Yeah, all the stuff about Babylonian Empire,
right.
Empire,
yeah.
all that stuff, you know. Yeah, they get tours like that. Yeah, they're very knowledgeable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God history.
Because when was the last time you went on one of them?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of the end time.
Yeah.
British Museum, it's free.
But
Bible tour.
But that's interesting you say that though. I wonder. We should ask a Muslim. Do they have an Islam tour in the?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question.
Wait, if they're the Islam tour, you go there. All they see is like a couple of rocks or something.
On the tour, right? It tells you where the Trinity comes from.
Okay.
On the tour.
Yeah.
Where the Trinity came from and how originated. It's on the tour. You can see.
Okay.
You can see. Real nice.
Right.
Yeah. Or you can go YouTube and look at it. Not YouTube. You can go their site.
Right.
Look at Bible tours.
Okay.
You can see real nice. The Rosetta Stone.
Well, yeah, they used to translate the the Egyptian stuff, isn't it?
That's right,
Yeah.
That's there as well, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Interesting. But when you like or not, Bible and history and politics go hand in hand. Whether you like it or not, right? Bible, politics and history goes hand in hand.
Yeah, true.
Combined together.
Yeah, especially because of the Catholics, because they had control over some of the governments.
That's one of the things we read now in the Bible. It's political.
Yeah.
Like 1 John 5:3.
Oh no, 5:7 I think.
5:7, yeah.
Yeah.
5:7. You know?
Yeah.
That was political. You know? I'm still walking around anyway.
Yeah.
Already it's tied up.
Hello.
Of course, we is plural. So if Allah, you say, is only one, absolute one, then why does he use for a heart? Why does he
a king can use himself for we.
Perfect. Now, if a king uses we, it's because he has subjects. So he uses it. Now,
Why is Allah doing it?
Allah is saying that we created. Who is the ones who are creating with him?
Now, if we show you, king also refer in Quran we.
Will you explain that?
You change your statement. You change your statement.
The king is not an absolute individual. The king is only a king if he has subjects.
Look what
Right? So in his authority,
look what Quran says. قال أما من ظلم فسوف نعذبه ثم يرد إلى ربه فيعذبه عذابا نكرا. He said, as for one who wrongs, we will punish him.
we will punish him.
Who is we?
Him and his subjects. This is the king. Done.
Right.
So who is the we when Allah says we? Who is the we?
So here, subhanAllah, is so clear. We can also be applied for one person.
No! I said
The king is not the only person there. When we are talking about creation,
Let me make it clear.
I'll explain to you.
Yeah. This is talks about Dhul-Qarnayn.
Is he going alone?
Okay. How many?
Is he going alone?
No.
how many people
Brother Lamin. How many persons?
creation? How many people create? How many gods created?
Surah Kaf.
No,
Yeah, but your guys, tell your guys to stop then.
record it.
Tell your guys to stop.
I want you to get
Tell your guys to stop.
Record it.
Tell your guys to stop.
I don't mind. I don't mind him.
Lemon's afraid.
I'm talking about it. He's not a Christian. Hebrew Israelite. He's a Hebrew Israelite.
Okay.
You can record. I know him.
He's not a Muslim either.
You know, he said, you people, when you die, go to hell. Why? Because he is Trinity. He said it.
Is Muhammad a prophet?
Brother, he doesn't believe in Trinity.
Is Muhammad a
He
prophet?
said you are not follower of Christ.
Is Muhammad?
Yeah. Can you debate with him?
Is
He said, look, he's against you. He is against you.
He ain't for you
No,
either.
he doesn't believe in Trinity.
And he doesn't believe
No,
Muhammad.
there you go. Debate with him. Can you debate with
He
him?
also doesn't believe in Tawheed
Can you
either.
debate with him? Because about Trinity. Are you ready?
Why don't you?
Michael, no, Michael. You said last time you will debate with any Christian, and you have debated one of them. You showed me video. Can you debate with David?
Yeah, I've already talked with him.
Are you ready?
I've talked with him for 2 hours.
Oh, you did, yeah.
I've talked with him for 2 hours.
Why does Allah use the word we?
Why?
Let me tell you.
Tell me.
Stand on it, use the sword of the spirit, and you use the scripture.
I'm going to quote the Quran. Is it one of you guys? Yes. Yeah. That's why the Quran.
Don't come in one way, they will flee 7 ways. I heard it. That part that I said last, what I heard,
You believe in one God? It wasn't Jesus. Yes, you pray to Jesus. We don't pray to even pray to the Creator. Yes, anybody. Let me just we have indeed sent out the message and we assaulted God for corruption. So that we
a vision of a flood about 6 weeks ago. Big heavy flood. No one understands. The dragons.
for you, only 1 year. Genesis 1:26. Oh, it's creating. Genesis 1:26.
I come into the flood through the water of the dragon. So we know through the word of God.
Your Majesty. Finish. Semitic language. Semitic language.
Show me where. Show me where Allah is clarifying that this is a majesty. Or it's okay if Allah didn't say it. Did Muhammad say this is a plural of majesty? Now when we see the we in the Bible, we know what it means because we means the Trinity. Okay, when it comes, hold on, I didn't interrupt you, don't interrupt me. So however when it comes to the Quran, if you say Allah didn't use the word Wahid, but he used the word Ihad. Allah and you use the word Tawheed, unification. So you have words like Tawheed, you have words like Ihad. Ihad means plural of one is plurality. You have words like we, when Allah is creating the heavens, who is he creating with?
Can I add one small thing? Lamin says you don't know the message of Daniel.
He doesn't know. Let me talk.
Lamin.
Then educate me. Then educate me.
Lamin. Produce for us. Lamin. Produce for us any other Semitic text, like the Epic of Gilgamesh, or like any other poetry that the pagan Arabs used to write about their gods, and show us in any of them where they use we for the time period.
Give me proof. Give me proof about this plural of majesty, because I've heard this plural of majesty. I've never seen any proof. That is something that is concocted in your head or in some scholars' head. I need to find it from either Muhammad, I'll believe it, or I need to find it from Allah.
There you go.
He said no.
Who is anybody else to say?
When the Queen of England said, we are not you.
It's her and her congregation. Let her alone.
Very good point.
Listen to me.
It's her and her courts.
Can I respond to
So who's the law in his courts?
Let me talk.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't want to respond. You say
Good point.
It's a plural.
You don't know what you're talking about. Santa, please. Santa, please.
Let me finish. Surah Anbiya.
Santa is smoking.
Santa's breaking.
We have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a message to mankind. That we, do you mean that? That we, what does it mean?
Allah,
I'm asking you.
And even the Bible, Genesis 1:26. Genesis 1:26. Listen.
Explain from your Quran.
Listen. Let's take the day. You go to the Jews and ask them. Genesis 1:26.
You are not.
No, you are lying. You are lying.
Answer the question.
Question, how can I be a lie?
No, listen. Ahad says Allah the one. Allah Samad. Allah.
We blew our spirit.
The eternal.
We blew
who is self-sufficient.
We blew our spirit
upon whom all depend. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is he begotten. Wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad.
We blew our spirit.
And there is nothing unto like him.
From Allah or from Muhammad, that it is
Trinity.
Show me
It's not in the Bible.
Muhammad. So admit that
If you show me the word Trinity,
admit that you cannot show me.
I become a
Allah
Christian.
or Muhammad, show.
That is what Allah said in the Quran.
Three that bear witness.
In Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 171. He said that all people of the scripture,
This is plural of majesty.
Christians, all
This is
Christians,
plural of majesty.
do not go to extent in no religion and do not speculaze against
That's my
Allah,
point.
the Messiah,
Jumping from topic
Isa,
to topic.
Jesus,
Can we come
the son
back
of
to the
Maryam,
topic?
the son of Mary,
Come
was
back to the
no
topic.
more than a messenger of
Prove
Allah,
to me that
and his
Allah
word,
is singular.
which is the son of Maryam.
Prove to me. Allah is Wahid.
29.
Come on, simple question. Prove to me that Allah is Wahid. Lamin,
The word Trinity is not the Bible. Jesus never taught Trinity. Jesus was not a Trinitarian. None of the prophets in the Old Testament preached the concept of Trinity.
He's a single person. He's at least two people.
There's Allah is not Wahid. Allah didn't say Wahid. Why did Allah?
Indeed, I am Allah.
Mary's father.
There is no deity. There is no God except me. So worship me and establish prayers for remembrance.
We blew our spirit.
Creator, not creation.
Why
do you worship Jesus? Why do you
How
worship
many
Jesus?
people blew into Mary?
Because he is Allah. Because he is Allah. Allah creates, Jesus creates. He's Allah. Simple.
How many people blew into Mary?
We blew our spirit.
How many?
Why do you worship Jesus?
I'm asking you a question. Will I get an answer? I'll answer the question.
You know the Quran.
You want me to answer that question? I will answer. What is your question?
Allah said He's Allah. He's one God. We worship Him alone.
I will answer your question.
Taha 21:14.
Lamin,
Surah Taha.
I will stay here and answer your question. Now, why do I worship Jesus? Because Jesus is God.
Because he said, I am He.
Now, please tell me.
Because Jesus said, I am He. And you will die in your sins.
Jesus says, God, show me.
Jesus says,
I am He.
Abraham was,
Jesus, I am He.
am.
Or you
What
will
is
die
I
in your
am?
sins.
Very good question.
Wait.
Lamin's asking the right question. What? It comes from...
Listen.
Okay, it comes from the Hebrew where God says, when Moses asked God, who should I say sent me? What did God say? What did God say?
Do you know the verse?
Right, you know what God said, right? So Jesus said the same thing. Now, you and I may not understand because it's lost in translation. However, the Jews...
It's lost in translation.
Yes, because you're talking in English. Because you're talking in English. However, it is mentioned in the scripture that the Jews wanted to stone him. Why? Why? You tell me why. Because they understood that he's using the very name of God, from which we get the word Yehovah. It's a derivative of I am. Now, can you answer? No, I didn't lie. That's why I worship Jesus. How can I worship a lie? Do you think I worship a lie?
Then what is it?
No. Now you tell me. Why does Allah? How many people blew into Mary? How many people?
You say he lied there. You lied.
Did he answer my question?
Wait.
I answered your question. Now you answer my question.
No.
See, listen.
Wait.
You said plural of majesty.
He lied.
I asked you, prove to me plural
In the
of
book of
majesty.
Exodus, chapter number 3, verse 14 to 15. Let me take you. Verse 14. No one said. No, wait.
Can you answer my question?
Wait.
Are you running away from my question?
No. I'm going to teach you Bible lesson.
Are you running away from my question? Why does Allah use the word Ehad?
Book of Exodus, he lied.
Why does Allah say
The I am statement there.
instead of I?
Let me talk.
Why does he do it? Simple question.
I'll give it 3 minutes.
Why are you struggling?
You're scared.
Oh, because
You're
I'm scared.
Okay,
I'm scared. Now, give me the answer.
3 minutes.
Give me the answer.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Give me the answer.
To your point.
Give me the answer.
You lied about the Bible. No, let me finish.
You didn't answer my question.
You lied.
I asked you a question. You didn't answer. You said plural of majesty. That plural of majesty doesn't exist in the Quran. Show me where it's in the Quran. Show me where it's in the Hadith. I will accept it. So you lied. Saying plural of majesty. Plural of majesty is a lie.
I am He.
Plural of majesty is a lie.
Unless you
So
believe
now
I am
you
He.
show me. Why does Allah
Unless you
say
believe I am
we?
He.
Why does Allah say we? Don't lie. Say plural of majesty because it doesn't exist. Muhammad didn't say plural of majesty. Allah
We blew our spirit into
Why are
Mary's
you
father.
saying it?
He lied about his Bible.
We blew
I didn't
our
lie.
spirit.
You lied. You lied. Show me where's plural of majesty in the Quran. I will take my shahada now. Show me plural of majesty in the Quran. Show it to me. Don't run. Don't run. Don't run. Don't run.
Are you scared?
Show me. I am not scared.
You
I'm
will not
here.
even let me me talk.
I'm right here.
Show him. Show him. In the Quran.
Majesty.
What a waste of time.
Show me
You're a
plural
liar.
majesty.
Liar. You see,
Show me plural
he lied
majesty.
about the Bible. Show him.
Show me plural majesty.
Show him. Yeah, no, wait.
Yeah,
Show
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Look,
Yes, the Quran.
look,
Every
I'm
Quran. Two Quran.
Listen to me.
Two Quran.
I quoted from the Quran. To say who is Allah. Allah make it clear. He's one God, and we should worship him.
Lamin.
He failed miserably.
We got Qurans right here. Show us. Where is this we?
I'm gonna go.
Where are we at? Where is it?
Look at it.
Is it this one? Is it that one?
Show him.
Is it this
He
one?
said he'll do a shahada here.
Or is it this one?
Show him. One by one.
Any Quran.
They
Any
wet
Quran.
their pants.
Choose your
Which one
Quran.
is it?
Choose.
Banana. Prosaic.
That
Wash.
one?
English.
Banker.
Which one?
Poppycock. English. Baloney.
Wash.
Oh, nonsense.
Which one do you want?
I debated him 3 times.
Show me
4
plural
times.
majesty.
4 times.
Lamin.
I cooked you every time. Come
Lamin
here.
is not giving me the plural majesty.
Show him.
He
In the
lied to
Quran.
me, saying plural majesty.
Show him.
Lied. Lamin
Show
lied.
him.
Lamin lied. Saying
Lamin
plural
lied.
majesty.
Yeah. Lies. You see, you lied.
Show him.
Where did I
You
lie?
lied.
You said plural
I tell you why
majesty.
you
Where
lied.
is it?
You lied. Why do
Where
you
is
lie?
plural
Why do
majesty?
you lie?
Where is
Why do you
plural
worship
majesty?
Jesus?
Where is
Why do you
plural
worship
majesty?
Jesus?
Where
Because
is
he's
the
God.
majesty?
Where is
Not
plural?
there.
I answered
Why
you.
the Bible?
Answer
You
me.
didn't answer it.
Where is the plural majesty?
You answer it.
Where is
I
the
said you lied.
plural majesty?
You lied.
He gave you a
Where
case.
But you lied.
Now
is the
show it to
plural
us
of
in your
majesty?
Quran.
Why did you lie?
Where is the plural majesty?
That's from this Bible. Could you deny
Lamin,
it?
but you haven't given
He's
an
scared of
answer.
his Quran.
Even
Made
John
a
one
claim.
said,
No
He doesn't have an answer.
He won't.
No Muslim has an answer. He does not have an answer. You can say I'm a liar, but I
They
answer
quote
the
John
question.
126. Right? God in the Bible said, in the Bible, yeah.
Okay, yeah, answer the camera.
Let us make man in our image. Let us make man in our image. Let us.
How many
Quran? They said,
Show me where's the plural.
How many Quran?
Where is plural majesty?
I don't understand why Allah is
Plural
like
majesty.
we and our.
Show me plural majesty.
Allah French. Why does Allah use we? When I come here, they were their pants. Why is Allah saying we? Jesus in the Bible make it clear that he was the God. He said, worship the Lord your God and serve only him.
He's running away from the topic.
I'm not running away from
Is that the topic?
Worship.
Is that the topic?
For the Quran.
You said plural
You lied for
majesty.
the Bible.
Show to me. Show to me.
Why
Here's the
do you lie?
Quran.
Why do you
This
lie?
is the Quran.
Why do you lie?
Here's the Quran.
Who do you worship?
Show to me.
You worship Allah.
You have in
Why
your
you
Quran
Jesus?
why Allah
Open your Quran.
uses an hour.
You're a liar.
I
You're a liar.
answered you why I worship Jesus.
You're
It's
a
on
liar.
camera.
Okay, let me talk.
I
Okay,
answered.
let me talk.
Okay, show me plural majesty.
Let me talk 3 minutes.
No.
3
You haven't
minutes.
answered
Answer
the
the
question.
question. They got their camera here. They're on content.
Answer the
We
question,
boycott
Lamin.
them.
No, no,
We cut
no.
them.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna go now.
Who's we? Wait, who's we? Who's we? You? Or Allah? More people? Who's we?
Allah.
Who's we? Who's we?
This guy.
He said we boycotted them.
Nigerian
Who's we?
Nigerian we.
Who's we?
This one here.
Who's
This one.
we?
Nigerian we again.
Who's we?
Allah, come in.
Come up in. Too much come up in. He's getting his brain.
This guy has
Allah is brain. Come up in.
Allah himself associates partners. And he cannot shut.
And he says we.
Wait.
He said we.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Subhanallah.
Who is we?
Allah is French.
Who is us? Who is our?
We. Who's we?
That's the most Muslim connection to Jesus. And I should take the most emotional connection to my ancestors. What are you talking about?
The Romans were wanting to respect his birth, but Jesus not deny their God.
Where, for example, in the Epic of Gilgamesh, or in any of the poetry that we the Arabs, do you have any examples where then people will realize freedom is singular
And it forces people into ignorance.
Who's Canaanites? Who are the Canaanites? Who are the Canaanites?
What I understood is the Arabs. So, exactly. So, are you telling me I'm wrong? You don't know. I'm telling you what I believe to be right. How are you telling me I'm wrong? But I know that the Canaanites in the Bible are referred to as Palestine.
Ja, maar zijn die niet in kamer? Ja, die
continue to live there and say we'll respect your ability to have your own communities as long as you obey certain basic laws and basic taxes. Yes? Now, it's not a prescription I agree with, but to make out that it's incredibly draconian or aggressive or unreasonable is to go too far as well. Yeah? It's too much. They could behave far worse. And also, you're quoting prescriptions that were made back in the day during a different time. Now, you guys think these are eternal truths. I think they're culturally relative. So I'm seeing it differently to you. I can understand why 1,500 years ago, actually, if you had that prescription, you were probably being fairly benign according to the terms of warfare of the day. But it's a question of how you want to interpret those texts in the modern day. Yeah? And I assume raping women and having slaves is off the record. And you, just so you're on record, you don't agree with having slaves or raping them, yeah? Could you go a bit louder just so people know?
I don't really want to do a
He does. I don't think that's fair. He doesn't want. Like,
Okay, just so they hear the
on the spot and ask you.
No, because, like I said, I'm not an expert or that learner.
No, I'm just asking.
If you really want a Muslim perspective,
I'm asking how
then
you
there are
would
plenty
live.
here.
I'm not asking for a scholarly thing. I'm asking how you would
Yeah,
live
but
your life.
why do you not want a scholarly thing? I don't understand.
I can do both. Right now, I can do both.
But I think it's better to have a scholar or someone more learned to actually have a fruitful discussion.
But I think that also you're a real person who is a Muslim, and I'm guessing that you're a devout Muslim, your religion works for you, I respect that, and that you people might misrepresent you as being somebody who, he's a Muslim and therefore he's into raping women and having slaves. Just
Yeah,
so
but you can say that all he wants. Anyone who wants to believe that will believe that. Someone who is
I'm asking what you
someone
believe.
who is more reasonable will think there are so many Muslims in the world. Do we see anywhere all these Muslims going around raping girls?
Sure, so I'm just asking what you personally believe. All I'm asking is what you personally believe. That's all.
To me, raping is wrong.
Thank you.
If I have to say that.
Thank you. So you don't think the Quranic prescription is condoning rape? Good. So he's not interpreting it that way. You're interpreting this as being about prescribing for rape and slavery. He is not interpreting it that way, and that's not what he's going to advocate doing with his life. Yeah?
So my question to you then is, how do you explain? Like, you have to have either tafsir ibn Kathir. Like, I don't know what tafsir you're going by, but how would you personally understand? So you're saying you don't believe that if a Muslim takes a slave in battle, that they can. I just want to be clear. Are you saying that if a Muslim takes a slave in battle?
Explain to me, when you're saying Muslim taking slaves in battle, what do you mean by that?
So let's go to the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, and he's going to war, and he's fighting the Romans, and they take over Egypt, they take over Jerusalem, wherever it may be, Yarmouk, and they find in their possession, from those that they're fighting, females, and they take some of those females captive. Now, I assume you believe that Muhammad and Umar ibn al-Khattab and their soldiers, when they took slaves, when they took female captives, Sabaya, they weren't in violation of Islam. Is that fair to say?
Whatever the Prophet did obviously wasn't in violation.
Yeah, and also the righteous caliphs after him.
I would say, yeah.
So Umar is one of those righteous caliphs. So in those instances, if they took female slaves, the Quran says that, as far as I'm reading, as far as Ibn Kathir and all the tafsir that I've read, are saying that a Muslim man who takes one of these slaves, a concubine, which is very commonplace in ancient societies, they were legally allowed to have sexual relations with those women against those women's will. That's what I'm saying. And
I don't know what to say. If that's your interpretation, if you want, like you say, if you really want to know what is a Muslim's true interpretation of that, then bring a learned Muslim.
Okay, that's
even like basic initial questions come up where, on the one hand, you're saying non-Muslim females pay the jizya, but on the other hand, you're saying actually they would also become slaves. So which one is it? How do you decide if a Muslim becomes a slave or if they're free and they pay a jizya? This is what I'm saying, where I don't know enough. So that's what I'm saying. If you really want to know what is a Muslim's view on this, bring a learned Muslim and ask him these questions.
So on that, I agree with you. You speak to a learned Muslim, and that's why I feel guilty putting you on the spot, because you're literally saying, I don't know the Islamic answer, but me personally, I'm against rape, and that's a noble
Every Muslim
position
would
to
say
take.
that.
It depends what you define as rape, and if you define that you take a female captive, if you say that having relations with her isn't rape, I've got a mate, I think. If you say that her having relations with your captive isn't rape, then they obviously don't believe in rape. Most Muslims I speak to would say, if a Muslim walking down here can't just grab an English girl, a Christian girl off the street and rape her. Absolutely, that would be haram. But let's say you go to war, and you're talking in the Middle East, let's say, they have a war and they take female captives. And interestingly, when Hamas took Jewish captives, Jewish women, they described them as sabaya. Sabaya means a female captive. They rape these captives. They rape the hostages. And that's because within Islam, there is a mechanism that allows the conquering Islamic army to take female slaves from the populations they overcome, and if they choose to rape them. Now, they don't have to take slaves. And so in many instances, most instances, the Jewish people were not enslaved because they were Ahlul Kitab, and unless the Jews were in direct conflict with the Muslims, so they weren't fighting the Muslims, they just lived in the land, what happened was they would find themselves as one of the Dhimma, one of the people of the book that had to pay the jizya until they were humiliated, which was the verse that I always started on. And so I'll make it very, very clear what I'm saying. If Western society defines that as rape, so two populations are fighting, let's say Jews and Muslims are fighting, the Jews lose, the Muslims win, taking those females as slaves, most Westerners would say is immoral, and then being allowed to have sexual relationships with them against their will, we would also see as immoral.
We would agree that's immoral.
And so I think that's how you have to. And so I was asking the question to a Muslim. That's how I frame it. I wouldn't say, "Are you against rape?" Because everyone's against rape, but they wouldn't define that as rape.
Okay, you've said it's prescribed, and you've shown where you think it's prescribed.
Yeah.
You've shown historically where that.
Mate. I'm really sorry.
You've shown historically where you think that prescription was acted out by Muhammad and his people.
Yeah.
And yet you were saying you think it's wrong. Okay? I'm now interested, unfortunately, I find myself going, his point here now is coherent. He's giving the prescription from the book, he's giving an historical example where the prescription was acted on, and yet you seem to be saying you think it's wrong. Now, I agree with you that it's wrong, and I'm trying to fight your corner here, but how are you rationalising the fact it's wrong? If it's in the prescription.
I don't know. I think he's been honest. He's Muslim. He doesn't want to insult his religion. He doesn't want to go against Allah. So he's not going to say what the Quran says wrong. He's going to try and find a better interpretation, or someone with knowledge who can provide a satisfactory answer. And that's the challenge. And I think it's unfair because if someone does the same to me with Judaism, I'll feel the same.
I don't know.
Okay, I think I don't know is a good answer. Yeah. But you personally in your life, you wouldn't rape or have slaves, yeah?
What kind of a question?
It's a reasonable.
What do you mean, whoa?
Like, are you thinking about it, or you? No, I think he was smiling because he was saying
I was
like no.
smiling because
The question was quite.
was ridiculous.
when I was younger, a police officer once stopped me at a bus stop and said, "Do you have any knives, guns?"
Yeah.
And then he said, "Do you have any bombs?" I actually looked at him and said, "What do you mean?"
Oh, okay, like that. Yeah, something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were thinking about
Yeah.
difficult
You
questions,
didn't,
like-
right? You didn't have any bombs.
Otherwise, you still wouldn't be here, would you?
I left it at home.
I'm asking you the question because I'm confident you're
It's a fair
gonna say no.
question. Fair
And I
question.
think you already did. It's not an unfair question. Given what's followed before, you in your personal life, you realise that's immoral. And you're humble enough to go, I'm not sure how to square that ethic with what I've heard. Which is at least constructive, At least everyone's being honest and we can see that.
Just
I don't
to
believe
defend,
most
just to
Muslims
defend him,
advocate
just to
kind of
defend his position in the Torah, which I follow, you'll find slavery, you'll find all these concepts.
Right.
You won't find sex slavery in the same way, but you will find that women can be enslaved, and there's mechanisms that are put in place to try to prevent rape.
There are terrible things in the Old Testament. Terrible.
And so that's yes, and from a more liberal perspective, yes, 100%. We don't read the Torah literally, and it's a separate conversation.
If I started arguing, hey, Jews believe that you should burn to death the daughter of a priest if she was a harlot, which I've got a series of things in my backpack, which are from the Old Testament. There's some appalling things, like kill anyone who works on Sunday. I think people here are working on Sunday. We should be killing them.
It says Sabbath, which is Saturday, but
okay, so fine. Okay, so if you come down, you know, there's a number of things which are said in the Old Testament which are appalling. Now, I wouldn't dream of pointing the finger at the Jewish community and going, you people advocate this, this and this. We understand that they're taking what's literally written in the book into a more constructive context. And because I'm going to extend that charity to the Jewish community. It's not a charity, I think it's common sense, right? It's reasonable to extend it to the Muslim community as well.
Can I explain the tangible difference between those two
Go ahead.
examples? So first and foremost, Jews have never read the Torah literally. So we don't believe that these are literal things that we have to do. So for instance, any of the capital punishments can only be mandated by a Beit Din, a religious court. A religious court, there's an expression from the Talmud which is what defines what we have to do, that says a religious court that puts one person to death in 70 years is considered a bloody court. Now if you think how many people the Americans kill every year for treason, etc., you begin to understand that Jews weren't carrying out capital offense. So now to bring it back, the tangible difference here is the people that it's talking about are either Jews or people that no longer exist in the Old Testament and the Torah. With Islam, these laws which I'm citing, or these verses, these ayah in what's the plural for ayah? I don't. Okay. You can just religious verses in the Quran. These religious verses in the Quran actually were applied to Jewish people, and so there were Jews that were enslaved, there were Jews that paid backbreaking taxes, there were Jews that found themselves under new rulers, and now
were they adhering accurately to the description when they did it? And also, can we try and bring it up to date?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe they were.
The Moses sanctioned having a guy stoned to death, I think, for working with okay? So I could lay in and go, here's a practical historical example of something written in the Old Testament by one of your top guys acting on it. But I'm not going to do that because I think.
So let's bring it to modernity, and I think that's I can give you numerous examples of where religious Muslims have taken women as slaves, sold them and abused them and raped them. You will not be able to give me one example of any Jew that was stoned to death, killed for breaking the Sabbath. That's my point. This is literally something which people suffer from by people who are interpreting Islam in a literal
I take your point. I think Judaism has managed to update itself more commendably and to not take itself as literally as Islam does. I think in conservative Islam, for me personally, it is a problem taking it so phonetically, literally in every level.
I don't like that term, that's the thing. I don't think there's such a thing as conservative Islam. I think there's Islam.
There's a spectrum. The difference between a Sufi, a Sufi is clearly at one end of the spectrum.
It's got nothing to do with conservative, or moderate, or any of the, or Islamist, or any of these terms that Westerners impose on Muslims.
Now you're being disingenuous, let me try again.
Sorry.
Within Islam, there is a spectrum of belief. Forget left and right. Can we agree there's a spectrum? Not all people who self-identify.
100%.
Okay, now I happen to pick left and right, pick a different term. But there is a spectrum. Within that spectrum, some people seem to take it more literally than others. Now I'm in favour of religion not taking itself so literally, whatever the religion is.
That's right.
that's my personal view, is that there's good stuff in these religions, but taking them too literally is generally problematic.
But I don't
think
you'll
with
find
respect
many
to
Muslims
Islam,
that say that.
conservative Islam might be falling into that trap more than maybe Judaism has done. But nonetheless, there's clearly good practical stuff in Islam that works in people's lives.
I don't think Muslims
and I
would
don't want to see
way.
it damned as just a simple black and white issue because of a warfare.
I don't think any Muslim would believe it would go along with what you're saying. Or the overwhelming majority of Muslims, I can't say any. Muslims believe they're on al-haq, they're on the truth.
Yeah.
If something is the truth, you can't moderate it, you can't interpret it to a more progressive understanding or more lenient or any of the terms that you would use it. So I can give you examples of Sufi from history that did bad things. They're literally what we're talking is that Sufis weren't moderating the religion and making it more progressive and liberal.
Again, you're giving the history, I'm saying the prescription. If I go to a Sufi prescription, it's going to be really quite different from a more conservative prescription. Yeah?
What's a more conservative prescription? Like, this is the thing I'm struggling with. These are you're imposing a Western framework.
You've acknowledged that there's a spectrum within...
No, I'm saying Sufi believes he's on the truth. He's not deviating from the truth. He believes he's on the truth. The Eshi dogs, may they burn in Jahannam, they believe that they're on the truth. They believe they're on al-haq. So they all believe they have the truth. It's not a matter of interpreting away from the truth for more liberal.
Before I came here, coming down Edgware Road, I happened to have a chat with the policeman who reverted to Islam, yeah? His name...
Converted, you don't have to appropriately use that language.
He calls it revert, and I whatever.
You weren't born a Muslim.
I was just... If you believe that everyone is born a Muslim, then to call it reversion, I was just trying to...
Whatever, yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, but you're not Muslim, so you don't have to.
I'm just trying to show some respect to their way of looking at it for a minute, okay?
Just continue.
Okay.
Go.
I believe his name's Paul. We had a nice chat for about 20 minutes.
Good Muslim name.
And he was a very good guy, and the reason he was into Islam was because he said, I noticed when I was brought up as a Christian there was more hypocrisy, people came to church then they behaved differently. Within Islam, I like the discipline, I'm an ex-boxer, I see them walking the walk, and he's not really particularly interested in talking the talk, he's interested in just living the life. It works for him, you can see it works for him, and I applaud that. So whatever happens of all of these discussions where different religions are arguing with each other, I want to have enough space that certain people can embrace Christianity or Islam or Judaism and make it work constructively in their life. So if you can not completely kick the shit out of each other in the process, that'd be really good. And I know it's even more difficult now you've got a warfare situation. But there are good Muslims, yes?
Of course, there's good every people.
Great.
I'm talking about scripture, I'm not talking about people.
Just occasionally chuck that into these discussions.
Why?
Acknowledgement.
It's not relevant.
Why? Because it's not relevant that there are
It's obvious that there are good Muslims, it's obvious there are good Christians, it's obvious there are good Jews, it's obvious there are bad. All societies have good and bad people. We're talking about the scripture, we're talking about ideology. It's like me saying to you, you have to accept and admit that there are some good Nazis, even though that idea of international socialism, maybe they weren't involved in the camps and they were actually just working in a factory, but they bought into...
When I say a good Muslim, I mean someone who is taking the text and he's interpreted in a way which makes it constructive in his life and in a way which is constructive for the people around him. Okay? I think that's what I mean by a good Muslim. I don't mean that necessarily they've got it exactly right, but in Paul's case, he doesn't care that much. He thinks a good Christian can go to heaven and a good Muslim can go to heaven, which means he's not running with the technical truth of the thing, but
he believes he is running with the technical truth.
No, he doesn't. What he says is, I've taken from it what works for me. I obey the 5 pillars, I pray, I don't do alcohol, my life works this way, and I say good for him. So I don't want to bash his religion to the degree that it upsets
what you have to find out is if he rejects. So the issue isn't... so every Muslim I know that does incredibly good deeds bases it on the Sunnah, bases it on the teachings of Muhammad, the Quran, and they can give sadaqah, they can give charity, they can do righteous deeds, and it's all based on their taking the good from the religion.
Right.
That's not the question is, do they reject those verses and hadith that have caused huge pain to people that have found themselves under the caliphate, under the Khilafah?
They're both questions. If you want
I care about more the one that's led to oppression of Jews.
I know, and I'm saying I can chew gum and walk at the same time. I want to look at the positives and the negatives because the amount of weight you give to each gives the right counterbalance.
It's lovely for you to do that from your European ivory tower of safety.
I'm not being ivory tower, I'm just trying to be objective. It's simply objective.
In my neighbourhood,
and you look at a
in my neighbourhood, you don't have that luxury. In my neighbourhood, when they cross over the border and take Jewish women, rape them and call them sabaya, you care more about. You're not so. Ooh, I wonder what good verses Hamas take.
You're no longer interested in the ethics, really?
And I'm literally responding that Hamas have very good charitable infrastructure for people of Gaza.
You seem to be arguing that suddenly the ethics take second place to the reality of the situation. And I think if you want to adjudicate the reality of the situation, you have to make the ethics be at the heart of it. You're making ethical arguments,
yes,
and I need to know your ethics.
And I'm telling you, it's from the. I'm literally going to the Quran, and I'm saying taking sex slaves is immoral.
We agree it's wrong, and our friend here has also said it's not something you would advocate.
No, he said he doesn't feel comfortable answering because he doesn't have the knowledge.
No, to be clear, we asked in his life. In his life, he's
take it. Okay, no. So let me just be clear.
How do I reconcile it? And I said, I don't know.
He says he doesn't know. He was
so just so I'm very clear. So, and I want to be. I'm really sorry to do this, but like you're in the conversation, and I know you'd rather not be. When Muhammad and his armies fought the Jews and took captives women, girls, from those and forced them into what I would describe as sex slavery, the most charitable explanation you would say is slavery, would you say that that is immoral?
If he went and attacked some people and then took girls as slavery,
let's say they attacked him first, David.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like all you're giving me is like a brief thing. As soon as I ask you a single question, like no, but let's say this. There was no point in me saying I agree with it or disagree with it unless I know all the facts. No.
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying. So let's paint a hypothetical.
I'm going to be very clear. I've always said this. Some truth to what you said is that as Muslims we believe you cannot change the religion, whether you like it or don't like it. Even if, for example, there is something in Islam or Judaism or Christianity that any of us don't like, that to me that is not a reason to not believe in it.
Sure.
Yeah? To me, it's only if something doesn't make sense you shouldn't believe in it. So whatever the Prophet did, to me, is correct. Now, what he's saying is, if he did this and this and this, unless I know all the facts, what I'm saying is whatever he did, to me, I agree with.
Okay.
I can't be any clearer.
That was very clear and very honest. I wouldn't.
But I couldn't run with that. What he's saying, like you're saying Jews have done a good reason.
Yeah, in the absence of more context. I couldn't just go whatever somebody did is automatically right. I've got to inspect the action through a slightly more, critical lens.
One of the precepts of Islam is to accept that whatever the Prophet did is morally correct. And
it's the best example.
Okay, which is where I have issues with some aspects of Islam, but I'm certainly not damning the whole thing just because of that.
The same grounds on which you would label someone a good Muslim may be the grounds upon which another Muslim may label that person someone who's fallen into disbelief for watering the religion down.
Okay, but where we might have common ground is we'd all agree that if they're obeying the 5 pillars, I'd say they're being a good Muslim. I think all Muslims would agree that if you're following the 5 pillars, you're on a positive path. I'd agree with that as well. So we have common denominators for what we consider positive, I just want us to understand where we have commonalities as well as where we have conflict, If you just only ever pay attention to the conflicts, it doesn't help the conversation. You need the counterbalance, which is why I want Joseph. He says, why should I mention that there are good Muslims? It's obvious. It really would help occasionally if
Joseph,
for you to occasionally go, I do get that there are good Muslims and there are
people... You said it is obvious, and then you said, just like with the Nazis, there may have been some good Nazis. Are you saying...
Yeah, I'm saying that's his argument. That's not what I would say.
But with the Nazis, I'm sure 99% of them, they did horrendous things. Are you saying with Muslims is like that, and you've got the kind of odd Muslim who is good, or are you saying on average most Muslims are good people?
So I would say Islam as a religion is broad enough that it can be interpreted and someone can lead an incredibly righteous life and give sadaqah, and they are on the haq. They are
Muslims right now.
I'm trying to respond directly. And then I've got mics. And then you have other Muslims who are following the religion to the T, and they do things which I would consider beyond the pale and immoral. And so I would look to someone like Jabhat al-Nusra or any of the militant groups in Syria. A lot of them, not obviously any, but a lot of them are following Islam to the T, and they take sex slaves and they do things that I would see is beyond the pale and hugely immoral and clearly not the way of God, if God is truly righteous and moral and is truth. And so for me, Islam itself, scripture, enables. I'll give you an example. I was just pulling up one of the.
Sorry, you haven't answered my question. What I've said is,
maybe I
the majority of Muslims, to you, are they good or bad? Because the example you gave,
you
don't know.
So what I can say is that I've met as many, probably more good Muslims than bad Muslims. Is what I can say. I can't say about every Muslim in the world. My anecdotal experience is positive, overwhelmingly.
Okay.
However, I would also say the only people who violently assaulted me for being Jewish, I've never been assaulted by a white supremacist, by a Hebrew Israelite, the black Hebrew Israelite. I've only ever been assaulted by Muslims.
Okay.
And so there's clearly bad as well. So I have a positive and a negative experience. And that's, for me, I don't want to focus too much on Muslims. And I will go even further. I'll say many of the Muslims that I have positive experience with are basing it on the Sunnah. They're basing it on the teaching.
On the Muslims too.
What I'm trying to say is I want to focus what you were saying on the scripture, because I believe that the scripture, the Hadith, and the Quran are broad enough that you can lead to serious oppression of Jews, which has happened in multiple caliphates.
That is a danger. You can counterbalance it by going, but in practice, huge numbers of Muslims are actually behaving very well, and that is your experience, yes?
Again, no. I live in the West. I live in the West. Well, I lived in the West, which is very different to if I was living in Egypt as a Jew. If I was living in Egypt as a Jew, my experience would be very short. I would probably be killed in a very short space of time. Jews don't fare well in the Arab world, which is why 850,000 of us were either ethnically cleansed or fled. And so it's very easy for me. It's very easy for, as I was talking about, you're sitting in a European ivory tower where you're relatively safe. In the Middle East, it's a very different experience.
Of course. I'm not coming from a cultural perspective, I'm coming from an ethical objective.
So, ethical objective perspective, here's where I want to go. Malik related to me from Nafi that Abdullah ibn Umar made two of his slave girls Mudabara. Mudabara means that they can be freed. And he had intercourse with them while they were Mudabara. So these are slaves that have been designated to be freed, and he can still have sexual intercourse with them. By modern standards, that's rape. Most Muslims, if you show them that hadith, are going to have a problem because they can't say.
But our friend here is being honest about the problem, which is good.
Yes, that's why I don't like putting him on the spot, because he can say, and it's something that I have the same issue with. If you read something in the Torah which you struggle with, you look to people with knowledge to provide an answer that's satisfactory, and in most cases you will find that answer. But I think Islam has a challenge because slavery is mandated, and Muslims operated the largest slave trade that has ever existed.
I don't,
and that's all based on this.
I don't really care unless it's in the prescription.
It's based. We've just been through them. I just give you an example. I just give you an example. Yeah. So the prescription's there, and that's immoral.
It's just, I think if I dive into the Quran, I'm going to find a number of other prescriptions which are about. Hang on, let me finish.
You have to bring it though.
Let me finish. I haven't brought it with me today, but I remember. I think it's Surah 177 and whatever. Having read about the first 100 pages of the Quran only, I found prescriptions in the Quran which are very benign, very empathic, very inclusive, and they sound very
inclusive.
Yeah, inclusive.
For non-Muslims,
it would seem so by my reading.
Please bring those.
Okay, about just charity and treating people well and thinking about other people.
That's talking about Muslims. Zakat applies to Muslims only. Sadaqah is for Muslims. It's not for non-Muslims.
Really?
Yes.
There's nothing in the Quran which says that you should treat people in generally well.
I'll give you a great example. Sure? One of the verses you'll hear time and time again is probably one of the things you've read, is that someone who saves a life, it's like they've saved all of humanity. Someone that takes a life, it's like they've taken all of you. Literally, you should read the verse before that, and that verse is saying this is what we told the children of Israel, the Jews. And the verse before that isn't as positive. And so people cherry pick verses out of the Quran and take them out of context. So you say you've got all these verses, it's on you to bring something. I'm bringing a lot of evidence to support what I'm saying, and no one's bringing anything to counter it. Just I've read or I've seen Muslims, and I've met some really nice Muslims, but we're dealing with the scripture, and we're looking at the historical record of how Jews were treated, how the Muslims operated the largest the largest slave trade that's ever existed. Muslims took Jewish slaves. Muslims took sex slaves. Muslims today are doing this And Jews paid back-breaking taxes under the jizya, which the Quran says you pay until you're sagirun, and so humiliated. And so if you're saying, yeah, but I've met some nice Muslims and I've read some verses which in context, I'm assuming you're saying in context, seem to be very inclusive and pluralistic and egalitarian, then mate, you have to bring it, because I brought a lot to the contrary.
Okay, I didn't bring it with me today. It's the impression I got. It's what I hear a lot of Muslims advocating. A lot of Muslims,
I mean, the Dawah doesn't...
Yeah. What's the point in, like, are you here to say that that Islam is false? Are you here to say that Muslims
Well, I
are
obviously
violent?
think Islam is false, otherwise I'd be a Muslim.
No, but is that the point of this debate? Is that why you're bringing on...
No, so the point of this debate is, I believe that Islam, when practiced literally, when followed to the script, close to the scripture, leads to Jewish women being captured and taken into captivity. What happened on October the 7th? This is in my neighborhood where I live. What happened to Jewish women? So, they were enslaved.
So are you saying that, for example, all the Muslims who live in the West, they're not practicing Islam literally?
They are. Islam teaches it explicit. When you're living in Dar al-Harb, when you're living not Dar al-Islam, when you're Dar al-Islam, when you're not living in the Muslim world, but you're living in the non-Muslim world, Dar al-Harb is the world of war. You have to follow the law of the land. And in this land, in the UK, slavery is forbidden. And so, of course, no Muslim's going to advocate.
So, are you saying in Muslim countries there is slavery going on?
Up until very recently, and it was only due to Western pressure, slavery was legal in most Muslim states. Yes.
Sex slavery. So you're saying
there's no difference in Islam between slavery and sex slavery.
Okay, so what you're saying is, up until recently, slavery and including sex slavery was commonplace.
Yeah, legal. In Saudi Arabia in the 50s, you had slave markets. Mauritania still has hundreds of thousands of slaves. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
So did this happen in Iraq, in other countries where Muslims, for example, in Iraq, where there was a large Jewish population, Muslims were going around capturing Jewish girls?
No, that's not what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, the slaves that most Muslims took were from Africa. And when the Quran's taken out which your right hand possesses, that's when you're going to war. So if the Jews in Iraq were fighting the Muslims in Iraq, that's when they would take them as slaves, but that's usually not what happened.
But why was
the
it not
Jews
happening,
often,
for example, in
the
Iraq?
Jews often sided with the Muslims, or they had no power to side with anybody. There were no Jewish kingdoms for the Muslims to go to war with. The first time we have a Jewish kingdom, guess what happens? Jewish women are taken as captives.
So, for example, why was it not happening in Iraq? Why?
Because the Jews weren't sovereign in Iraq. The Jews were subordinate to other empires, the Babylonians, etc.
No, I'm saying in like modern times, why wasn't it happening in Iraq?
Is it because the Jews were never sovereign over Iraq? The Jews weren't going to war with the Muslims in Iraq. That's what I'm saying. Sorry if I'm not being clear.
So sorry, what you're saying is, in your examples, you can only do this if there is a group of Jews and they attack Muslims,
or if you purchase the slaves. So I'm not sure what the legal precedent for the Ottoman slave trade was, but the Ottomans took more slaves than any other people in recorded history. And they were religious Muslims, and there was precedent in Islam for this. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be as clear as I can. But slavery is permissible in Islam. Nobody would argue against that. Muhammad sold slaves.
Okay.
Muhammad kept slaves.
And it's permissible in Judaism as well.
But the emphasis is, I wouldn't argue with that.
I know.
But the difference is, nowhere in Judaism does it say what your right hand possesses belongs to you.
No, it doesn't say you can have slaves. It does say you can.
Why does it matter?
We've agreed it says some terrible things.
Your
counter-argument is
Jews are not commanded to take slaves.
Your counter-argument is that you guys don't take your text as literally as a lot of Muslims.
Are you saying I'm commanded to take a slave?
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying if you go to war and you choose to take a slave, you can. And I'm saying
just
that
like
you
if
can.
you're Jewish,
you can't do that.
According to his prescriptions, according to prescriptions of the Old Testament, you probably could.
So in Judaism, the whole thing, you have to release your slaves, etc. You have to free them, but
which means it's okay for you to have them in the first place. So let's be clear, because Jews don't get laid into for the literalism of their text, even though it's got appalling things in it. And I could do that, but I don't see it as constructive, because I understand you don't take it so literally.
But Muslims do, and Muslims are much more literal with the text. I always have this struggle when I speak to Muslims, because they don't understand how I can read the book and read it in a different way to the literal reading. And that's, so for instance, an eye for an eye. When a Christian reads an eye for an eye, it means that if someone takes your eye, you can take their eye. The Jewish interpretation, which comes from the Talmud, which is similar to the Hadith, is that if somebody takes away your eye and you are a jeweler and you need your eye for your craft, then you have to be compensated for that, to the financial, for whatever financial loss you will make, because you can no longer see.
Also, if you're a Christian and you hear an eye for an eye, you've got to juxtapose that with turn the other cheek. So now you've got an apparent inconsistency because you're being told to do two different things, and you have to grapple with how you're going to work that thing out, yeah? So you can't just look at one prescription, you've got to look at the whole thing.
Just out of interest, if an eye for an eye meant if someone harms you, so for example, let's say if God forbid someone kills your son, you can kill that person, would you accept that?
You can kill that person. So in Judaism, no person...
if an eye for an eye had the literal meaning, would you accept that?
If eye for an eye was a commandment from God and it had a literal meaning, then that would be fine. But that's not what I believe. But yes.
But you accept,
But that's not what Jews believe. So literally, if God commands you to take someone's eye, if they take your eye, then if they take your son, you take their son.
You're talking about religious Jews as opposed to secular Jews.
We're obviously talking about religious Jews, but that's not what it takes.
No, it's not. To me, it's not obvious, and this is a permanent point of issue with us.
Only a religious Jew would believe that something is a divine commandment from God. A secular Jew wouldn't believe that.
We've attempted to have this discussion before. The term Jewish gets used to mean one of three things. It gets used to mean a belief system. It gets used to mean a genealogy.
Let's not have this conversation.
I know
again,
because I know that you. This is, I think, the tape that we lost, which we were discussing. Okay?
So that was a long time ago, and that's when I said I lost that. Oh, you're saying that's the one we lost?
Yeah, the one which you said you did, which we lost, right? Was that I think these conversations get blurred by the fact that the term Jewish can be used to mean a genealogy. It can also be used to mean a faith.
Yeah.
Now, if I attack somebody for their genealogy, I'm being racist and I condemn it, yeah, for sure. But if I want to take issue with your faith is your choice, and therefore I'm perfectly entitled to take issue with it.
Another time?
We probably won't, because you're going back to Israel. Hang on. So what happens often, I think, when you're discussing this with certain Jewish people, they hide behind, they'll accuse you of being anti-Semitic if you want to take issue with part of their religion or their politics. When it's not anti-Semitic, it's not racist to take issue with somebody unless you're doing it for their genealogy. And I would never attack anybody for their genealogy. But
I've got to get back to this. This is a tangent. Can we wrap up this conversation?
No, it's not a tangent.
It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. We're talking about Islam.
I'm trying to be constructive on all sides. You want to talk about Islam, I want to talk about the fact.
That was the conversation.
Okay, the conversation that we had on tape that went was I reserve the right to make constructive criticisms of the state of Israel without being accused of being anti-Semitic and racist. Is that reasonable?
Yes, that's reasonable. There's no argument.
Thank you. There's no argument for that. Joseph, because people like Ben Shapiro of late, since the attack.
I can't speak for Ben Shapiro.
I know you can't, but okay, I'm not asking you to. I know you're not Ben Shapiro, and I appreciate what you just said.
I speak a lot slower.
But people like Ben Shapiro, prior to the attack, he's on record as saying not everyone who is anti-Israel is anti-Semitic, yeah? But everyone who is anti-Semitic is anti-Israel, which I thought was a reasonable statement.
I actually disagree with that statement, so that's an example of...
Okay, well, Ben Shapiro, I have him on tape and I can show you where he says that. And when he said it, I thought, yeah, logically that makes sense.
I'll give you an example of where you're wrong and then we'll move on.
Hang on. After the event, now he's on tape, is pretty much going, if you're attacking the state of Israel, if you're criticising in any way, you are anti-Semitic. He seems to have shifted his position. Now, I think we've got to be able to make constructive criticisms and criticisms of any nation and any politics without being accused of being automatically racist. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, that is fine.
Okay, but that's got nothing to do with the conversation.
Well, it's entrenched in all of these conversations.
Well, no, because we're not talking about Jews in terms of
further down the line, if I start talking about what's happening in Israel, I will probably at some point be accused of being anti-Semitic. And it gets very boring.
That's fine. I'm not here to keep you on board.
And it gets to the point when people are afraid of saying things.
Well, that's fine. Let them be afraid.
Let them. I prefer it if they weren't afraid, because you'll get a better quality of debate.
I'm not here for a debate. I'm here for survival.
You'll get a better... okay, but we're having a debate.
I'm having a debate warning people on camera of the threat that Islam poses to Jews and Christians under the Caliphate. That's what I'm here to talk about.
I put it to you that your chance of survival will be increased by having constructive debate.
Well, that's great. I disagree.
Okay, you think you should have decent restructure.
I think Israel will survive through strength, not through debate at Speaker's Corner. I'm here to wake people up to
Okay,
the
I'm not
threat
suggesting that
vote.
Speaker's Corner will resolve what happens in Israel. I'm suggesting that having productive dialogues is the best way to get peace from everybody's point of view. And if you just back down and go, it's just about my survival, I no longer care about the ethics of the debate, you're more likely to end up in a conflict situation. You've got to agree on a common ethic.
We've been in a conflict situation for our entire existence. It's not my obligation to have a debate and entertain the moral grandstanding of those in the West.
If you were trying to persuade the rest of the world of the rights
I'm not. I'm here to wake Jews up to the threat. No, listen,
you have a channel.
I'm not here for the world.
For
Jews. My channel is for Jews.
Great, not just Jews.
No, it's just for Jews.
Okay.
If other people watch it, Mazal tov. But I'm here to wake Jews up to the threat that we exist.
So you're not obligated to give them a coherent argument then, because no one else is going to watch it. You're supposed
I'm happy that other people watch my content, but my content has one objective: to make the future for my daughter safer than it is for me today.
So you don't.
That's my objective.
Okay. You don't feel obligated to any wider effort.
No, I'm focused on survival.
Great.
You have the luxury of debating ethics and Speaker's Corner.
No, this is not a luxury. Okay? Having a basic common ethic that you can work from to try and resolve and adjudicate all of these.
You're right, actually. Next time Hamas are walking through the streets of Israel with a Kalashnikov, I'm going to jump out and say, guys, let's discuss the ethics of the situation.
Hold it.
Sabaya, here's why I think Sabaya are actually ethically problematic. I know you think it's a commandment from God, but wait, what if it was your partner? What if someone kidnapped your daughter and raped them and justified it with religious? Would that be moral? No, I haven't got time. That's not my interest.
You haven't got time for ethics.
And I don't think it would work. I don't think me telling Hamas that I think they're not very moral is going to convince them otherwise.
When did I advocate that? I'm not a fan of Hamas.
But my content is to wake people up to the threat that militant Islamic groups like Hamas pose.
I happen to agree with you that extreme militant groups do pose a threat, and I'm not a fan of them, and I'm not a fan of Hamas, okay? Simultaneously, I'm not a fan of Benjamin Netanyahu either, okay? I'm capable of seeing that both of them are acting in an unethical fashion, in a way which isn't serving either of their people, and I'd like to see somebody up the ante. And this is an irrelevant ethical debate. So I ain't no fan of Hamas, I'm on record to say.
So you Western intellectuals
don't label me as a Western intellectual and part of a tribe. I'm an individual giving an individual coherent
And I'm saying you have the luxury of having moral grandstanding because you are in the West.
There's no point that I could make a coherent point unless I'm actually being shot at in that moment.
No,
really?
I'm saying for me.
In fact, strangely enough, Joseph, people when they're being shot at tend to be less objectively coherent. You know that? When their backs are to the wall and it's fight or flight, they actually can lose sight of the bigger picture.
I've spent the last year running to bomb shelters, dodging rockets, and forgive me for not taking 5 minutes to say, guys, my platform, the Israel Advocacy Movement, it's here so we can have an interesting debate, and maybe I can help you reach a higher point of morality. And maybe you can help elevate my morality through conversation. Mate, I'm waking people up to the rockets that are falling on my head.
Fine, you don't want to elevate the conversation in an ethical direction.
I think
no, I want to wake Jews up to the threat.
Because if you're just
every time you've had to run into a shelter is been in Israel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not here.
And the example you gave about if Hamas come in, you're not going to speak to them about religion, about not taking sex slaves. I think you'd agree with me that Hamas are not strictly there to take sex slaves. They are there, whether you agree with them or not, to defend the people who are there. And or
to fight the people who are there. I wouldn't say defend, but yeah. I mean, they're not defending, they're fighting a war and killing their people.
And you yourself said that most of your interactions with Muslims has been positive. So taking aside
in the West,
taking aside the conflict, most of your interactions are positive with Muslims. What I have a real problem with what you're doing, you said something where if an eye for an eye was literal, you would still accept it because to you it's from God.
No, I don't believe it is literal.
But what I asked you was, if it was literal, would you still accept it?
If that was a religious Jew and I believed it was a literal thing that Jews literally had to follow, yeah, that's a religious.
Are you a religious Jew or a secular Jew?
I'm a religious Jew. No, but I am a religious Jew. But if I believed it was an explicit command,
So in the
no Jews are literalists. No religious Jews are
There's
literalists.
probably a couple of them.
Now,
Okay, but I'm talking about
On the
what
spectrum
Jewish.
of, yeah, I know.
what's ironic is that Muslims and Jews, I believe that out of all groups, I have no fundamental issues with the Jewish belief at all.
Except the rejection of Muhammad as the final messenger.
That's a big sticking point, yeah?
No, but
I mean, do not take the Jews and Christians as your friends.
Even setting that aside, their belief about God to me is fundamentally correct. They have a religion about laws which they follow to me is correct.
Yeah.
So I have no fundamental issues with their religion. I think for him it's the same. And to me, what he's doing is just picking out things which will enrage people. And this is why when you said it's important,
I agree with you.
It's important to
I
say
agree
there are
with
good
you.
Muslims, and he's saying
I agree with you.
It's obvious to us. It's obvious to far-right people in certain parts of this country. It's not obvious. Like with the Southport attack, which had nothing to do with Muslims, and yet mobs of people were ready to come down and attack Muslims. To me, Joseph, what you're doing is only inflaming that and making that worse.
Yeah.
So I can actually not. I don't disagree with you.
You don't.
So what I'm doing, I would absolutely agree that by me warning Jewish people of the threat that Islam, the religion, particularly when it has power, not when it's a Muslim citizen within a non-Muslim city, by me pointing out those dangers and by me pointing out that history, by me pointing out some of the abhorrent things that happen in the Middle East in the name of Islam, that will undoubtedly make things less safe for Muslims that are living here, because people will not be able to differentiate between Muslims as individuals and Islam as a political system. And unfortunately, because Islam does pose that threat to those that find themselves under the caliphate, then it's an unfortunate consequence. I can't speak out against Hamas taking Sabaya in the name of Islam without talking about Islam. And when I do that,
why can't you?
Because they're doing it in the name of Islam. Every time they murder a Jew, I watch a horrendous video from the atrocities on October the 7th. The one that sticks in my mind more than anything is there's an Islamic jihadi dog, a Hamas dog, grinning innately, shooting Jewish festival goers as they're running across the field, saying Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, gleefully screaming all praise be to God, as he's carrying out the most depraved act I've ever seen.
Again? Was it that?
Yeah, I don't know what. I haven't seen the. No, it was the one that they released to the press.
Okay,
screening.
I did see the documentary. Did you not see the documentary?
I haven't seen it because I was in Israel. I haven't got.
No, I got to say, well, if you watch that, it was appalling to watch. It really was.
Were they saying a lot? Because I haven't seen this, so I don't know what footage you've seen. I've seen most of the footage. But if they were saying Alhamdulillah and Allahu Akbar, and gleefully smiling as they're saying all praise be to God, while they're doing the most barbaric thing, it's impossible not to talk about Islam.
Yes.
When looking at
if you watch that documentary, what happened on that day was appalling.
And I would say it's not me. Ultimately, I would say it's not me that makes Muslims unsafe.
Joseph.
It's Hamas who carry out these acts in the name of Islam, and ultimately some of the verses within the Quran or the Hadith which seem to condone some of that behaviour.
That's a fair point. There are prescriptions that
what
seem
you're
to condone.
saying is that every terrorist act which happened after the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, where certain language about crusades and everything else was used, it was the Christians themselves who caused terrorist attacks here in the West. We Muslims haven't come out and said, well, actually, all you Christians are violent.
Yeah, because it's
all
not,
of these
it's
wars
not
are to
Christian
do
prescription.
with Christianity, and yet what you're doing is saying what these select so-called Muslims are doing, who are doing it as part of a wider conflict. This is solely to do with Islam. You don't see how dangerous that is.
No, because what he's saying
we are not doing that when it's been the other way around.
Excuse me, what he's saying is that you take it, because you have more of a proclivity to take it literally than, say, Judaism does, it's more problematic.
So do Christians.
And that's a fair point. No. What the Crusaders did was not according to Christian
I'm talking about now.
I'll give you
now.
Can I make it?
Christians going and they're shooting up mosques.
There's something
but Christians, that's not Christian prescription.
There's something disgusting that Christians do in this
it's
part.
not a Muslim prescription.
There's something disgusting
to
that Christians do in the
get a
part.
machine gun and start shooting people.
I'll give you a comparable analogy. I'll give you a comparable analogy.
He is saying, I think he's saying that it is within Islamic prescription to say that you should try and extend the caliphate and that you will have a two-tier system, a two-tier economics. Yeah.
Yes.
He's saying that that's inherently within the prescription. I don't think it's within the prescription of Christianity to go and do the Crusades. It's within the prescription of Christianity to turn the other cheek.
But to come to your point, there are Christians in this park, and they do so. Christians are the closest friends of the Jews today, and there are Christians in this park that say Deus Vult. Deus Vult was what the Crusaders would say as they slaughtered Jews.
Yeah, which is terrible.
And Muslims as well, 100%. And so Christians saying that, if there was a Christian doing something today abhorrent and saying Deus Vult, I would absolutely be making the same charge against them.
And it would be a reasonable charge to make. But I would argue they're not being true to the prescription.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Here in the park, yeah.
Bob is
that's my point.
Talking about doing military training.
That's why I said it's disgusting that Christians say that in the park today with the connotations of what that.
Yes.
And the same, it's not disgusting to say Deus Vult. It's disgusting when you link that to the Crusades. Just like it's not disgusting to say Allahu Akbar, but if you say Allahu Akbar as you chop the head off a teacher, that is disgusting.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Everyone would agree with that.
I know.
No.
Not everyone, but we would. Everyone here would. Everyone here would.
But as it happens, hang on for a second. Wait. For a second, we three do agree on those things.
So Salwan,
which is good.
There was a Christian from Iraq who was murdered a couple of weeks ago in Sweden, and Salwan Mamicha, and he was murdered for burning the Quran. The overwhelming response from Muslims online, which obviously isn't representative, was glee, delight, like either mocking him, and the moderates were saying like, "Hey, that served you right," but it was a barbaric act to murder someone for burning the Quran. People burn the Talmud all the time. We don't murder them. We love our book. Let God judge them. Let God judge them for that. And that's the issue. The issue is if someone carries an act out in the name of Islam while screaming Allahu Akbar, most Muslims, depending on the act, won't condemn it. It really does depend on the act. Most Muslims I speak to in the park defend October the 7th.
Really?
Most of them, yes.
I haven't heard that.
I have. Not from you. I'm not saying from any of you.
Completely honest, I have not heard that.
I have, and I've only been here twice.
In the same way, where you're saying plenty of people burn the Torah, there is an Indian Christian here, a lady who comes here every week, and all she does is say the worst things about Prophet Muhammad. Do you see us attacking her? No, she comes here and screams and shouts.
Hatun was stabbed in the face here.
Yeah.
And Edward Little bought a gun to murder you. So just because many Muslims here don't, other Muslims will take her.
How long was Hatun here?
She's gone into protection now. She's in hiding. Because there are people who are going to kill her for what she
did.
does.
Is it within the prescription?
I could bring examples.
It is in the prescription, that's why they do it.
Okay, then how come nearly all of the Muslims here weren't stabbing her in the face?
Because
they managed somehow, maybe subconsciously, to interpret the prescription in a way where they don't behave that way, yeah?
Or you follow the law of the land. It's more to do with you follow the law of the land.
Okay, they're abiding by the law. You're saying, so you think, apart from the law of the land, most of the Muslims here would be attacking them?
I would encourage anyone to...
I don't think they would.
I wouldn't do this.
I think the guys who did it are just extreme and psychologically disturbed anyway.
So a question for you. What do you think would happen to you if you drilled a hole in the Quran in Afghanistan?
I think I'd be in trouble, but I'm not upholding the regime in Afghanistan. I'm not in favour of that
do you think there's any Muslim regimes...
Do you think you'd have to rely on the regime to take retribution for that act? Or the average man in the street might take action?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know is an honest answer. I don't know how much the average Afghanistani feels that way intrinsically, and how much it's the regime. I don't know. Either way, I think you should be able to burn any book. Yeah. It doesn't mean that I want to run around automatically burning them.
No, I agree. You have a right to burn, particularly if it's yours, if you own it.
Yeah, if you own it, you should be able to burn.
In trouble.
It depends what your motive is.
No, even if you've got the most ugly motive.
If I burn a book because I want to make a statement about free speech, that's different from me burning the same book because I want to go, hey, I'm trying to take the piss out of you.
Let's say you want to burn the Jewish, you want to burn the Talmud because you believe that Judaism is a fascistic religion. It's not, but that's what you believe.
Yeah.
You have every right to do that.
Yeah, I believe you should have the right to do that as well.
Yeah,
so,
God will judge you.
But I understand that. I think if you're Muslim, you think the Quran is. You think that I've heard it said that they think the Quran is what Christ is to a Christian.
What is your gut?
They take it that it's that.
Well, I mean, they don't. Because Christ is God.
Well, yeah, the kind of.
I mean, Jesus is God.
if you want to be notified when I release any videos, then just click on subscribe, and then click on the bell, and select all. And so then you'll receive all of the notifications for when I release any videos.
Israelites will return to take down Islam.